world's leader in motorsports coverage, is pleased to welcome you to round one of our Triple Championship weekend. We are live at Atlanta Motor Speedway for today's ARCA SuperCar Series Jiffy Lube 500. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, and we come on the air with an ARCA race, but actually we have Winston Cup qualifying just concluding here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Today's ARCA event, the Jiffy Lube 500, 500 kilometers, 312 miles. It is the curtain call, the final event on the 19-race, $2.5 million ARCA Hooters Cup Tour. And in just a moment, one young driver will see his dream fulfilled. 25-year-old Tim Steele will flip a switch and at that moment become the 1993 ARCA Hooters Cup National Champion. And Tim, what are your thoughts right now as you're about to see your dreams come true?
Well, you know, this has been a really good year and a tough year for all the guys at the shop. Everybody on this HSI team has worked hard for it, and everybody deserves a big pat in the back. And I think we're gonna go for it here. We're gonna see if we can win this championship in style by maybe sitting in victory lane, not only for the championship, but for the win of the race.
Folks may not realize, but 3 weeks ago, you were lying on an operating room table undergoing 3.5 hours of surgery. You almost didn't make it here.
Well, that's true. We almost didn't make it here, but I knew before I went in to get operated on that, you know, there's a good chance I might just come here and make one lap and we'd still win the championship. But my doctor's here and he's kind of giving me the okay to race the whole race. And you know, we're just gonna go for it. That's all we can do.
Well, he kind of got the okay, but he is definitely the champion. It has been sewn up. But second through fifth in the points, still up for grabs. For more, let's go upstairs for today's host, Bob Jenkins.
Thank you very much, Jerry, and hi, everyone from Atlanta. You're right. There are a lot of points position being battled here in this final race, although the championship is wrapped up. Two great ones in the top five. Bobby Boucher, the 1992 champ, has only a 35-point lead on the 89 champion, Bob Keselowski, and Bob Breback, who won the title in 1990, is only 50 points behind for fourth position. So we have a lot at stake here this afternoon, and besides that, Grand National drivers and owners and sponsors are here, so are Winston Cup, and the other drivers are trying to make an impression on someone for possibly a 94 ride. Running just a little bit behind schedule, but in just a moment we should be ready to go for 204 laps of competition in the Jiffy Lube 500k. Ned and Benny are down in the booth, and guys, there is a lot of drivers that are trying to impress sponsors and car owners here this afternoon.
You're right, Bob. It seems like every race we do, we talk about this, folks, how important the ARCA, the support events, the Busch races, the ARCA events are to these drivers trying to climb the ladder to get the Winston Cup. This weekend, Ned, is no different. We have owners from not only the Winston Cup, but Busch standing on top of those trucks watching these guys compete today.
Yeah, there's some rides still open in both Busch and Winston Cup for 1994. And a good showing here today just might propel someone into one of those rides, because we've seen a lot of drivers in the past that have used the ARCA series to move on to other things in the sport.
The first one I think about is Davey Allison, and I'm telling you, in 1989, Ernie Irvin, with his victory in this ARCA race, I think got him the ride in the 4-car the next year.
Michael Waltrip has won here at Atlanta. He, of course, is an established Winston Cup driver, and the list goes on, including our Benny Parsons, who got early experience in winning the championship in ARCA way back. Well, there's another guy starting on the pole today who's moving on in 1994. For more on that, let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
Well, Ned, you know, Kirk Shelberdine has been impressive here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the past. Of course, I'm talking his crew chief for Dale Earnhardt. They've won races here. But in his very first race here at this racetrack as a driver, Kirk smoked the field on Wednesday, winning the pole in record time by 2 miles an hour over Bob Breback, who will start second. Now, Kirk, as you get ready to start this race from the pole, the question we have to ask, can you keep it up? I mean, 2 miles an hour faster than Breback.
Well, the car is pretty good, and we practiced a little bit yesterday, and everything seemed to be pretty close. I don't know about the other cars, though, but we're just going to do the best we can. That's all you can ask for.
Well, they've certainly had some impressive showings in ARCA, in Sportsman, and that has grabbed some attention. You'll be moving on to Busch Grand National next year in the 19 car. Tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Well, I'm not really sure how it all happened to start with, but their driver moved on to another ride, and they were needing somebody, and they were needing a little technical assistance too, I think, and We're not sure about who the sponsor might be next year, but it's a real good team there, and I think we can make winners out of them.
Well, best of luck today. Kirk Shelberdine starting from the pole. Bob looking for an impressive run today.
And he's one of those that can impress everyone if he can pull off a victory here this afternoon. 204 laps of competition coming up, the first of Triple Championship Weekend here on ESPN. We'll be right back. ESPN Speed World is being brought to you by Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change. It's the Jiffy Lube 500k from Atlanta Motor Speedway, south of Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia, and Winston Cup qualifying has concluded, and now we are set to go with the ARCA race. You can see the 43 cars in the lineup that are lined up on pit road, ready to get the command in just a few moments. This is a great field of cars that has lined up here today, and the competition, Ned, should be tremendous.
It should be, Bob, and look at all of the people in the pits there. Of course, many of them are workers that'll pit these cars when they come in, but yes, it was a tough field to get into. They had so many cars trying to qualify.
I think they had over 70 cars that came here. 69 of them took time, and yes, it was a very tough field to get into, so it should be very, very competitive here this afternoon. It's a big weekend of racing here on ESPN with the ARCA race today, the Busch Grand National race tomorrow, and of course the Winston Cup finale on Sunday afternoon. We are standing by here in just a few moments for the national anthem before we get ready to start the engines and to get this race underway. It's a Friday afternoon, not too bad a crowd on hand here, and here is the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket brickless, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Nice rendition of the national anthem as we get set for competition here this afternoon. Now, we are running a little bit late. We'd like to explain that again. There were a lot of Winston Cup cars that showed up here to try to make the field also. Qualifying ran long, and so we are a little bit late. The pole sitter for Sunday's race is going to be Harry Gant.
You're kidding.
How about that?
First pole position since 1991 for the number 33, Harry Gant.
That old man still got some fire in him.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Second in the lineup tomorrow will be the 26 car.
You mean Sunday?
Sunday, Brett Bodine will be starting outside row number
And he started outside pole last year in the Hooters 500, if I remember correctly. And they got down to turn 1 on the second lap in Rick Mast and crashed.
There was a Skoll car on the inside of him last year. This is a different one that will be starting there this year.
That's right. Third car will be Rick Mast. He will start third this year. The 55 car, Ted Musgrave, start fourth. The 12 car, Jimmy Spencer, will start fifth. And I guess everybody wants to know, where is Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace? They are not going to win the $1 million bonus.
Right.
Earnhardt qualified 19th and Rusty Wallace qualified 20th.
That was after a crash this morning by Dale Earnhardt that we will tell you about later. That is the lineup for Sunday's race at 12:30. Tim Steele awaits to win the ARCA Hooters Cup Championship here this afternoon. And here is the starting lineup for the Jiffy Lube 500K. Kirk Shelmerdine is the pole sitter at 178.017 in car number 98 alongside Bob Breback in car 34. The second row, Tim Fedewa in car number 55 and the number 1 of Jeff Purvis from Clarksville, Tennessee. The third row, Bob Strait, the ARCA veteran in car number 37, and champion Tim Steele. Fourth row, Bob Keselowski, former champion, and Jeremy Mayfield, who win the Rookie of the Year honors when he starts this race today. The fifth row, Bob Hill in car number 46, and Rich Bickle will start alongside in 45. The sixth row, couple of veterans, H.B. Bailey and Dick Trickle. Going to row number 7 for today's race, it's Dave Jensen and Kenny Allen. The eighth row, Mark Thompson and Loy Allen Jr., the defending champion of this event. The ninth row, Frank Kimmel and Bobby Boucher, last year's champion. 10th row, Joel White and David Simcoe. The 11th row, Jerry Foyt. Yes, that's AJ's son, Dale Fishline, car number 71. Foyt, the fastest second-day qualifier, 8th fastest overall. 12th row, Bill Venturini and Mark Gibson. The 13th row, Eddie Bierschwale and Donnie Paul. Jeff Finley and David Murray will start in row number 14. The 15th row, Mike Wren and Billy Thomas. Bob Schacht and Kerry Teague will occupy the 16th row. Back in row number 17, Jeff Davis and Trevor Boys. Tom Lorenz and Dwayne Dempsey in row number 18. The 19th row consists of Jerry Hill and IndyCar driver Brian Bonner. Glenn Brewer and Joey Sontag in row number 20. In the 21st row, these are the provisional starters, Robert Ham and Bob Dotter, and Lee Raymond in car number 47. That's the lineup for today's race. It's 204 laps around this beautiful racetrack. There is the shot from overhead in the Budweiser blimp. And Atlanta Motor Speedway is a 1.522-mile oval. The speed of the pole sitter, 178.017. Time, 30.779. We're separated by 2.1 seconds. There is Atlanta Motor Speedway. The pits on the front straightaway only here. Turns 1 and 2 are banked at 24 degrees. The backstretch is banked at 5 degrees. And is 1,320 feet in length. Similarly as turns 1 and 2, turns 3 and 4 are also banked at 24 degrees. And the front straightaway is also banked at 5 degrees and 1,320 feet.
And what we did to show you on this graphic, the front stretch, the back stretch, 1,320 feet. The turns are 2,640 feet long. The turns are twice as long as the straightaways. It's a very physical racetrack because the drivers are really truly in the corner 3/4 of the time.
In-car cameras today with Bob Keselowski, car number 29. And also Jeff Purvis will carry one of our in-car cameras. Yeah, you're turning just about all the time here at Atlanta, aren't you?
Oh, you really are. You get off and the straightaway being 1,320 feet. The problem is that you're still turning for probably about 300 of those feet, either coming off the corner or entering turns 1 and 3.
And some of the problems that we've seen in practice and qualifying here in the last few days, we wonder how it's going to be under race conditions here now. Sealer was put down on this track a couple of weeks ago. Some testing was done here last week for the NASCAR Winston Cup drivers. They had some problems then. There's been some problems here this week as we get the signal for one more lap to go until we get green. And it's going to be interesting to see when they go into these turns side by side. We even had some crashes during qualifying. Ken Schrader crashed his car during qualifying here today.
As a matter of fact, 5 cars have been in the wall today in Winston Cup, practice and qualifying. Earnhardt was the first over in turn 2. Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin, and Dave Marcus in practice. And then during qualifying, Ken Schrader also crashed. And all of those drivers have gone to backup cars. So it's going to be an interesting race on Sunday afternoon, but it's also going to be an interesting couple of hours here this afternoon in the ARCA race. 5 drivers, by the way, crashed during ARCA practice and time trials, and Mike Starr was the only one who suffered any kind of an injury. He was taken to the hospital for a possible leg injury. Everybody else okay. They'll get the green flag next time around and about halfway down the backstretch.
I talked to Mike Starr just before they took him to the hospital yesterday, Bob, and he was complaining about his right knee hurting, and they had the splints on the side of his leg and what have you, but it didn't look like it was very bad. Hopefully it wasn't very bad. I'm not a doctor. I shouldn't say that.
We'll leave that to the good Dr. Jerry Punch down on pit road.
Exactly. This is inside Jeff Purvis's car as he takes a look on the outside pole sitter.
It's a beautiful afternoon here at Atlanta. It's kind of cool, got a good breeze blowing, but the sun is shining for the most part, and a beautiful field of cars getting set to take the green flag. Here comes the field off of corner number 4, and Tim Steele, by taking the green flag here, is going to win the 1993 ARCA Hooters Cup Championship. The race is on.
Those two guys are about not to give up the lead, and Freebank goes in the corner, takes the lead away.
And I thought Jeff Purvis was going to slide into Kirk Shelmerdine's trunk, but he did not. Here they come to complete lap number 1. And a problem here on the main straightaway. Keselowski is involved, so is Kenny Allen. Others are scrambling to avoid. It's going to be a miracle if no other driver is involved. Yeah, we do have a couple of others involved, but nothing real serious.
Man, oh man, and then there's...
That could have been very, very serious.
Boy.
It was near the front of the pack. A couple of cars got tangled up. And there's the Ken Allen car.
I tell you what, that's not a lot of damage for what he went through, because he slid from turn 4 practically all the way down to turn 1.
Boy, hats off to the guys that were behind those cars that crashed. They did a great job getting through. Here's the replay. Notice Allen way up high off the 4th corner.
That's right. He gets up in the loose stuff. He loses control, gets the car out of shape, comes down, tags the 29 car of Keselowski, and you're right. How in the world all these guys got through? Look at that 46 car.
That's Bob Hill, and he just got by inches.
Just by inches, and there's a red car going to spin down in turn 1. I guess that's the red car right there.
Yeah, he started wobbling, and he just couldn't get it back under control, and he spins it around.
And here it is from another angle, from our camera located high in turn number 1.
Well, you can see Ken Allen's car very high, and he hits Keselowski, and then Keselowski, it causes him to start going back and forth, and both of them spin right in front of a big pack of cars behind them. And amazing that more cars were not involved. But see, they sort of, Keselowski stayed down on the inside, Allen up on the outside, so that gave them some room in the middle, and then Allen comes down, the other cars started going the outside of him after that.
I guess that's what Moses saw to see, wasn't it, Ned?
I guess, right. Parted the water.
The waters were parting. As we mentioned, by taking the green flag, Tim Steele is the ARCA champion for 93, and they have already raised the championship banner in his pit area. So congratulations to Tim and the rest of the team and the crew for a great 1993 and a championship in the Hooters Cup competition. There is Tim, number 16. And Jerry Punch is with Kenny Allen.
Kenny still sitting inside the car. It has not been a good day for cars with the number 3 on the side of them. We'll tell you more about what happened to Dale Earnhardt this morning, but at the very beginning of this race, Ken Allen has had trouble in his car. His Chevrolet Lumina had been shortened considerably as the car number 29, Bob Keselowski, pulls in behind us here, and Kenny Allen is trying to get his helmet up, and he pulls the helmet off. Obviously got to be very thankful. Kenny, a very scary moment out there for you. What happened?
It just got loose coming out of 4. I had to ask to see. They said that I just got loose, and when I come back that way, I got into the 29 car. When I come back across the track.
Now you're sliding sideways toward turn 1, and about half the field is coming at you. You can see a lot of cars that just barely missed you.
I tried to crank it up and back up as quick as I could. Try to get out of their way.
Well, Kenny able to smile at it down here as they are here in the pits under caution for the first time today. What was supposed to be the Jiffy Lube 500-kilometer race starts out with a bang. We'll have more from Atlanta Motor Speedway after this. Stay with us. We welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway here for the Jiffy Lube 500. Under caution for the first time today, a serious incident on the early laps here involving a couple of cars. You talked to Kenny Allen a moment ago. Here is Bob Keselowski, 1989 Series champion. And Bob, a tough way to start here. You needed to run well to get up in the points.
Sure was, Jerry, and we had a real good running car. Apparently the 3-car, there's something wrong with that 4th turn, the way all the Winston Cup cars have been crashing, but the 3-car lost it. Come down, hit me in the side, then I don't know what happened from there. There was so much tire smoke, but all the best I could tell is he got sideways and come across and clipped me, then I don't know what happened from there.
Can you fix the car?
I don't know yet, Jerry. I haven't had a chance to take a look over there. I think it's pretty bad, though.
Bob Keselowski just 35 points out of second place. And remember, a very special day for a veteran, an ARCA legend, if you will, Bob Dotter, 55 years of age, 3-time ARCA champion, may be calling it quits after today. Dotter was laid off from his job as a diesel mechanic back 6 months ago, sold all his racing equipment to have enough money to come here to Atlanta. He went and borrowed a car he had sold to someone to run NASCAR Sportsman. It's a 1987 Monte Carlo. He came here. It's the last race for the Chevrolet Monte Carlo. It's the end of an era for that car, and it's possibly the end of an era for a legend in ARCA racing. Bob Dotter possibly hanging it up after today. He made the field on a provisional start, and certainly a lot of memories over the years for the Midwestern short track fans of ARCA. Bob?
Thank you, Jerry. Good story. We wish Bob Dotter the best. The problem on that car is an ignition as the green flag comes back out and we resume our racing. Bob Breback is up front with Kirk Shelmerdine second, then Jeff Purvis running third.
Of course, the big difference now is they're starting in single file, but they might not stay that way long. As we see, they start to jockey around for position, but maybe that will make it a little bit safer here for a few laps.
We're riding with Jeff Purvis, who's in third position, and coming up quickly on Kirk Shelmerdine's pole-sitting car, that's second.
You know, Shelmerdine's speed, 178 miles an hour, was actually faster than the Winston Cup car qualified.
Here's a good battle. Rich Bickle at 45, and Dick Trickle, who's driving the 39 car, has taken that position away from Bickle.
Trickle told me last night that he had a fast automobile here. He said in qualifying we had a little bit of a problem, but he said we found it, and he said it's one of the fastest cars in the field. In practice yesterday, looks like he was going good.
What was wrong with the car apparently was that it had a slight little bitty hole in the fuel intake, and they got it fixed, and it's running fine. I should say the fuel line.
Well,
so it remains.
Passing another car, Bob. Forgive me.
Yep.
He's heading right on towards the front.
He's moving up. Things are status quo up front. Bob Breback, the leader, Shelmerdine, and then Jeff Purvis. Purvis looking to the inside now, and as the afternoon goes on, the sun is already a bit of a problem, and as the afternoon goes on, it becomes a real problem in turn number 4. John Kernan has a report on the 98 Kirk Shelmerdine car.
Bob, in qualifying on Wednesday, Kirk Shelmerdine turned 8,900 RPM. It was good enough to get him on the pole by 2 miles an hour. I was talking with him today. They changed the gear so that it would only turn about 82 to 8,400 RPM in today's race to make that engine last. I mean, talk about cranking the motor, 8,900 revolutions per minute.
It's a lot to be turning an engine of that size, but I guess when you want to go fast, that's one way to do it.
That's right.
But you couldn't do that in the race. It wouldn't last very long turning those kind of RPMs.
Once again, this is inside Jeff Purvis's car as he looks at Shelmerdine, and right in front of him, Bob Breback. What's that sponsor on Breback's car? Scafidi Mac?
Yes, Scafidi Mac Ford.
Scafidi Mac. It's a Ford car.
Okay.
That's what it says on the paper here.
That's right. Jerry Punch has more on that subject.
Well, you asked about Graffiti Mac. Actually, that is one of the largest Mack truck dealerships in Wisconsin. Bob Breback has that sponsorship since the beginning of the year. They're in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. When you talk about tomahawking people, Breback's moving away pretty easily. The car he is driving today is a brand new Ford Thunderbird. And the engine, the power plant, hey, guess who built that one, guys? Ernie Elliott. He's had a pretty good record here in Atlanta over the years.
We're watching the 25-car Bill Venturini move up. He's taken a couple of positions here just in the last few laps, and now moves to the inside of Tim Fedewa, number 55. And Venturini started way back in 23rd spot.
Man, he is on the move.
He is taking off. Those yellow cars are on the move. Now, he's up to 8th position already, so he has really made a lot of moves. And another yellow car right at the back of the pack. Here are the leaders. At the back of this pack is Dick Trickle we were talking about, that other yellow car. And he has caught the front pack, wanting to move into the top 5. He's running 6th right now.
Right behind Jeremy Mayfield in car number 95, who led points in the earlier part of the ARCA season and is going to win the Rookie of the Year. Now, Tim Steele is a rookie in this division, but ARCA rules say that you can't win the championship and Rookie of the Year in the same year, so that means that Mayfield is the best.
Spin off turn 2. H.B. Bailey. So far, he hasn't hit a thing.
He's still out of control.
Oh, and all the cars get by him. I don't think he touched a thing.
I don't believe he did.
And I don't believe the flag is going to come out.
No caution.
He did a long slide down the backstretch, but it was headed in the right direction when he stopped, and so he just put it in gear and drove on.
H.B. Bailey from Houston, Texas.
Here's a replay.
You know, the worst part about it, he was really running well. He's trying to get under Bob straight. I just happened to be watching him as he came off the corner. He turned under straight. When he did, he lost the back end, and here's the end result.
Well, it went around and then straightened back up and then went all the way around, complete 360 that way. You can see that traffic coming on behind. He's just sitting there spinning around. Said, please don't hit anything. That didn't.
And we have a crash now.
That's the leaders.
That's Shelmerdine.
And Steele. And Breback. That was Breback up against the wall.
There is the champion, Tim Steele, who has run into a problem here with only a few laps gone. Lap 15, as a matter of fact, and Steele sits in the infield in turn 3.
One thing he didn't need was a crash with that injury that Jerry Punch talked about. Let's see if we can see here what happened.
Go down the corner, and Breback just loses control, gets car out of shape, and Shelmerdine goes up, I think, hits him again.
Yep.
And now Shelmerdine spins, and along comes Tim Steele and runs into him.
Steele had nowhere to go. Shelmerdine came down across the track right into him, and he hit him.
Breback drove on. Jeff Purvis just made it through that little incident, and so he's going to be the leader, I believe. Here is another angle. That's first, second, and third right there, and yep, Breback just got a little loose.
I think that Breback got a little bit loose going in the corner, maybe because the 98 car Shelmerdine got up close to him and took some air off the spoiler. But I think he could have saved the car if Kirk could have gotten his car slowed without bumping in the back of him.
Here comes Tim Steele around to the pit area now. He will park in the pit area that contains the championship banner, but he's certainly not winning the championship in the style that he wanted to. He has 4 wins this year at Talladega, Pocono, Winchester, and at Texas World Speedway. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Tim Steele, he's pulled it into the pit. You can see there's a lot of damage on the left front right there. They're checking inside to see if any of the linkage, the steering linkage is bent, or if some of the sway bars might be bent up. We can also see now it looks like the radiator has been broken, as you can see fluid pouring out from underneath the car, and they have just decided to shut off the engine. Tim Steele is going to push it behind the wall. Now let's go down to Bob Breback's pit with Jerry Punch.
And the 46-year-old former series champion, Bob Breback, getting set to bring his Ford Thunderbird down pit road. The Scafidi Max sponsored efforts. Breback won a championship here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in 1990. He lost one in 89 by 15 points. He was hoping to get a good finish today to possibly move up in the point standings. And there is some sheet metal damage on the right side and the rear of the car. As the crew now will go to work and they will change all 4 tires. They will also take the very large pry bars and try to finally get the jack out of the car. The car dented so much they could not get the jack beneath the right side of the car. Right side tires going on. That's Joe Slonkoski, the crew chief, changing the right front tire, and they had the left side lug nuts off. They have cleaned the windshield. A tough break for Bob Brevac, looking for his first win in 1993 in ARCA competition.
And also looking for fourth in the point standings. He came in only 50 behind Frank Kimmel. Now they're over to the left side of the car again.
They're going to have to hurry. The pace car is coming off turn 4 to stay in the lead lap. And they had that tire on backwards, had to turn it around.
He's fitted way down pit road, and here comes the pace car leading the field off of turn number 4. He's going to, yeah, he does get out. Now John Kernan is with champion Tim Steele.
Well, Tim has climbed out from the car. A lot of work to be done, but you guys got the championship locked up. You didn't come here to run last, did you?
No, not at all. You know, it's a shame. We had an awfully good race car. I was just kind of taking my time. I seen that there might have been a little bit of problem up there. I didn't want to get involved in there. Figured, oh, let them sort things out for a few laps and get up there and race. You know, that's what I did. Unfortunately, HSI Ford Thunderbird sitting behind pit wall. I think we had a really good shot at winning this race, despite my shoulder and all. But, you know, we still did win the championship. I guess we want to do it in style.
Yeah, but I mean, you are the man of steel. I mean, you looked really great in that Superman outfit at the beginning.
Yeah, I got something right here. They've been calling me the man of steel. I guess I better keep wearing this Superman shirt.
Hey, Tim, after what happened while you were wearing that today, throw it away, go take it home, give it away, burn it.
Yeah, maybe I just better go back to the old T-shirt I used to wear under this thing. I always wore the same T-shirt every race, and maybe this is a bad omen.
Bob.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to Tim. The race is not going to be as good for him as he had hoped, but he won the war, the 93 Hooters Cup Championship. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to Atlanta Motor Speedway as we present the ARCA Hooters Cup Jiffy Lube 500k, the final race of the year. We have a lot of motorsports coverage for you this week. In addition to all the races, join us for Shop Talk featuring Jeff Gordon tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and then a Davey Allison special following the Winston Cup race Sunday afternoon at 4:30 Eastern Time. And then right after that, we'll come back here to Atlanta Motor Speedway for a live edition of ESPN Speed Week as we wrap up the whole 1993 year of stock car racing here on ESPN. Green flag back out, racing once again.
And that black car we saw coming out of the pits down there was Kirk Shelmerdine, who was sitting on the pole, so he has gone at least a lap down as a result of that accident as we get back to green flag racing.
Now it's Jeff Purvis, the leader of this race, and Jeremy Mayfield is running in second position. Now Mayfield might have qualified a little bit faster than he did. He started in 8th position, but he said he thought it was a 2-lap qualifying procedure. It was quickly pointed out that the entry blank stated it was a 1-lap, but he was saving the best till last. But anyway, he qualified in 8th position. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Bob, yeah, Jeremy Mayfield made a little bit of mistake on Wednesday. He hopes to make up for it today. As far as his plans for next season, he's got 3 opportunities. He may go part-time on the Winston Cup circuit and then run the Speedways, the companion events in the ARCA division, or he may run the Busch Grand National Series. They're going to get together the team, and they're going to meet with the sponsor in the next week and make a decision on where they would like to be for next year. So Jeremy Mayfield, another driver, looking for an impressive showing today for his sponsor to possibly parlay into a Winston Cup full-time ride.
He is currently running in second spot. Now, H.B. Bailey is in line there, but he's a lap down. Here's a battle. Loy Allen Jr. at car number 2, and the 37 driven by Bob Strait.
Now, if you're a racing fan and you watched this ARCA Jiffy Lube 500 last year, this 2-car was a Ford. You recognize that grill? That's a Chevrolet Lumina. He has borrowed this car from James Finch to run the Jiffy Lube 500 this year. His Ford car is going to run that in Sunday's Hooters 500.
And if he should win the race in this Chevrolet, it would give Chevrolet the manufacturer's championship. We'll wonder how he'll explain that to the Ford people if he's going to race the Ford car.
There's a series on Loy Allen Jr. Started 16th, then 11th, then 10th, back to 12th, and now he's up to 7th.
Champion of this division.
Last year's champion, as a matter of fact, the driver of the Black 50 car is Eddie Forswell. Beerswale. And the battle is for second place as Dick Trickle has gotten around H.B. Bailey, the lap car, or maybe Bailey has gotten it anyway. It's a battle for second position between Mayfield and Trickle.
Yeah, Bailey has got back out of this, and Trickle got into the side of Mayfield going into turn 3 the last time around. Bob, see how he beats him coming off of turn 2? He has a good run going into turn 3. Had a better run the last time around. Got down on the inside of him, but the car just simply didn't stick, and he didn't want to take a chance of spinning it out, so he followed him on around. Now he has a run coming off of turn 4, gets down on the inside.
Trickle won this race in '91. He's moved to second. And a battle for fifth position.
Frank Kimmel and Rich Bickle.
By the way, there are 14 drivers that are on Hoosier tires here this afternoon, and Bickle was the fastest qualifier among those. Starting in 10th. Jerry Punch has an update on Kirk Shelmerdine.
Bob, our pole sitter involved in that early incident over in turn 2. Apparently the damage is very minimal as far as the cosmetics are concerned, the sheet metal. The only problem, the front end is towed out a little bit, so it might be a little difficult to handle it as far as turning in the corners. I hope to get another caution, of which they are not a part of, and come in and adjust the toe end. Right now, Kirk running back in the pack, trying to make his way back toward the front.
And Rich Bickle has picked up the position. And John Kernan has a report on the 02 car driven by Frank Kimmel.
Well, Bob, you know, Frank Kimmel has basically operated that team on his shoestring. Well, they've got a sponsor for this race, Harley-Davidson's Big Apple Market, and what that has enabled them to do to have some money to buy some extra tires for the race and to also put a Robert Brown motor in the race car. So they came here loaded for bear, they felt, and Frank Kimmel thinks he may have a good shot at winning here at Atlanta Motor Speedway today.
Kimmel was the 1992 STP Prestone Rookie of the Year in ARCA Hooters Cup competition.
And there's another rookie, number 60. That's the guy you talked about at the beginning, starting 21st, Jerry Foyt, AJ's son.
He was very impressive in second day qualifying.
What was that?
Ended up 8th quickest overall.
But he had to start 21st as a result of qualifying the second day.
By the way, that is a team car to the other, the black number 50 that's driven by Beerswale, both cars for Bobby Jones.
I asked him what his dad said, what kind of advice he gave him for his stock car career or his racing career, and he said, stay out of it.
You talk about Jerry Foyt being impressive. You know, he is the youngest, as you mentioned, of Lucy and A.J. Foyt's children, with Terry and Tony being both older. But he has never been on a track longer or larger than 1 mile, and never on a banked super speedway. His debut here, the fastest second-round qualifier, and doing a pretty good job in the car owned by Bobby Jones. There's a chance this young man might get to run as a regular in ARCA next year, but let's primarily IMCA modified. There's a big jump from IMCA modified to laps at 180 miles an hour here in Atlanta.
But he's doing a good job. There is the 55 of Tim Fedowa. He's in a big pack of traffic coming down the main straightaway here. That's David Simcoe, the yellow car, to his inside. And up front, it is Jeff Purvis. But look how quickly Dick Trickle is closing in.
He is definitely moving in.
Jeff Purvis leads the Jiffy Lube 500k ARCA Hooters Cup race from Atlanta. Back in just a moment. We are 34 laps into the 204 lap Jiffy Lube 500k from Atlanta Motor Speedway. As we wrap up the ARCA season for 1993, Tim Steele has already clinched the championship, although he is not in competition, involved in a crash. There's the battle for the lead. Jeff Purvis trying to hold off Dick Trickle.
You know, as we watch this pedigree car go around the racetrack with Dick Trickle driving it, we saw this car in the All-American 400 in Nashville, Tennessee, one of the off-road cars, and Weldmeyer was driving the car. Now, this weekend he's here working on the car, right? This guy can't quite make up his mind if he's a driver or a mechanic.
That's right. But there may be a problem on the number 1 car. Jerry?
Apparently, Jeff Jeff Purvis has complained that the car is extremely tight, trying to get off of turn 2 and off of turn 4. But the crew was planning for that, knowing it could possibly, with the weather changing today, they have inserted a rubber insert in the left rear spring. They're hoping to get a caution flag to be able to bring him down and take that left rear rubber out, which would improve the handling of the car. But right now, he can't get the car to turn. He's got a mirror full of the Rulo brothers' car right behind him as Dick Trickle is making a move.
Quite frankly, I thought that Trickle would dispose of him rather quickly because Dick moved up so quickly to his rear bumper, but passing him has been another story.
Well, he had a lot of open racetrack, Bob, after he got past Jeremy Mayfield and Trickle did, and he could run his groove. But once he caught Jeff Purvis, Purvis is trying to use the best groove around the racetrack. Even as Jerry said, he's pushing up a little bit in the turns, but still, it makes it difficult to pass because Trickle did not use exactly the same line that he was able to run fast on and catch him.
So Purvis maintains the lead now, and you're watching from Bud 1 Airship. 194-foot-long Bud 1 airship with camera operator George Shapsma using its eye in the sky to bring you these shots from about 1,000 feet above the racetrack. There's the Bud 1 airship. And a beautiful blue sky overhead. Purvis and Trickle lapping some of the slower cars as they continue to decide who's going to lead this race, and Dave Simcoe is very slow in the racetrack on the apron.
He was running in 18th spot, but looks like he's off the pace, and we saw the leaders go by. Not a good sign for David Simcoe out of Detroit. All stomping grounds.
Here's Trickle again, still working on Jeff Purvis. You know, Trickle drove the Rulo brothers car in a couple races. I remember he qualified 9th at Richmond in that car. Chuck Bowen drove it last week, or week before last, out of Phoenix, and qualified in the top 20. Had a good run going there. So this guy's built some fast race cars.
And here comes Bobby Bowser in the pits.
A year ago, he was the champion of the ARCA Series, but he brings the 21 Farm and Fleet Ford into the pit area right now with just 40 laps completed.
And was running 7th.
And here is Trickle taking the lead from Purvis off turn 4. He got it.
Yeah, he just drove down on the inside coming off the turn. Exactly what Jerry Punch was talking about. Purvis's car just simply wouldn't turn the way he needed it to coming off that turn. And Trickle just drove right under it.
Here's John Kernan.
Bobby Bowsher is pulled it here on pit road. Gary Bowsher and the crew are taking a look at it. They just refired it. The motor sounds very, very sick. They believe that they have just blown up something, possibly broken a valve spring, possibly a burned piston. But it looks like the day is going to be over for Bobby Bowsher as he starts it up again. I mean, you can listen and you can just hear the motor does not sound right.
Bowsher with only one win in 1993. That was at Toledo. However, he is second in the points, and with Keselowski out earlier, it appears as if he will be able to maintain that second place position. Bobby Bowsher in the pit area as Dick Trickle now has the lead in the Jiffy Lube 500k over Jeff Purvis, Jeremy Mayfield, Rich Bickle, and Bill Venturini. Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at Atlanta Motor Speedway on Triple Championship Weekend, the first of 3 here on ESPN, and Dick Trickle continues to lead. Bobby Bowsher's in the pits. Here's John Kernan.
They have pulled it behind the wall, Bob. They were checking the engine, as we could tell you when he tried to refire it. Just, Bobby, there's something definitely wrong in the motor. What's the problem? What do you think the problem is?
Well, I really don't know. The oil pressure started to drop, you know, going the backstretch, so I figured better shut it off, and it was vibrating. But we had this quality farm fleet on the move, and we was coming, and I just knew that we made some right decisions this morning in the garage area, and I knew it was going to work, and the track was coming to us. We was really fast.
Now for next year, you guys are putting together a car for the Daytona 500, possibly a move to Winston Cup?
Possibility, we're working on a couple deals, and hopefully them will pan out. We'll be at Daytona to run the 500. But, it's been an up and down season. We run all the strong all year. you know, we'll be back better than ever. I like to say hi to my little daughter, Brittany, at home.
All right, that's Bobby Bowser, who's out for today. Bob, this was a brand new car. It was a Ford test car, and Ford Motor Company gave it to the Bowsers after they won the championship last year, and Ford also won the Manufacturers Championship at ARCA. They had it at the shop all season long, working on it, fine-tuning, and this was its first race. It's really sad to end this way.
Sure is, and of course, Bobby, a great second-generation driver. His dad, Jack, was a champion in the ARCA division. Here is Trickle now, continuing to lead with 48 laps completed. He started in 12th. That was his lowest in the field. He has been up front for the past 7 laps.
And pulling away a little bit from Jeff Purvis. There we see Purvis's white car, the number 1.
Next on the track is Tom Lorenz, who started 35th and currently runs 31st. He has been up as high as 23rd on lap number 40.
And then Jeff Purvis, who started 4th, currently 2nd. Of course, his highest was 1st. He led for a while. And the lowest was 4th on lap 15. Led for 25 laps.
Continuing to pan on back to Brian Bonner.
Did you tell me he ran Indy cars?
Yeah, he ran at Indianapolis in '92. He's run quite a bit of open wheel cars, as a matter of fact. But right now, he is 34th in the serial grid, having started in 38.
There's Dave Jensen, started 13th. He's currently 18th. His starting position was his highest, and got down as low as 22nd on lap 38.
The next driver we see is Jeff Finley. Started 27th. He's moved up to 19th. Of course, that's the highest he has been. The lowest was 28th on lap 1. Of course, he hasn't led yet. There's the leader again, Dick Trickle.
The 1 car's in the pits. The 1 car is in the pits. Jeff Purvis is coming down towards Jerry Punch.
They're actually pitting about 10 laps early for what they probably could go by fuel, but Purvis's car was going away, so they decided to go ahead and bring him down pit road and change right side tires. Here is Jeff Purvis getting right side tires, while our leader, Dick Trickle, will bring the Rulo Brothers Pedigree Chevrolet down pit road. Purvis is out and away as he moves away right beside him. Rusty and Chris Rulo getting ready to pit the leader, Dick Trickle, as he comes down pit road in a Chevrolet Lumina. They will change right side tires only into this first scheduled green flag stop. A little bit concerned about fuel mileage here. They thought maybe they could possibly go 55 to 59 laps. They are pitting here on lap 52. Right side tires go in on this car that Dick Trickle is driving. A legendary short track competitor. They clean the windshield, and he is, whoa, in contact. Loy Allen Jr. jumps on the brakes as they just barely tag a left front fender. But now Loy Allen has to back into his pits. The defending champion of the Jiffy Lube 500 has contact and trouble with costing at least 10 to 15 seconds on pit road. And now he will get his first regular pit stop, and right side tires going on the Hooters Chevrolet. He is down and away and spins out and heads back for turn 1.
Boy, that was as close to a crash as you could possibly have, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Trickle gets his service, heads out, and Loy Allen Jr. coming in. He locks the brakes. Ooh, I don't know if they touched or not, but it was awfully close. I would not have wanted my finger in between them.
That's right. Here's another angle, and look at Allen stand on the brakes as he sees Trickle to the left pulling out. Whew,
I'll tell you something else. Loy Allen was not going to stop at his pits regardless, because he was simply going too fast. That's one reason that he locked the brakes up, because he was going much too fast to stop for his pits.
Okay.
He did a good job of avoiding Trickle.
Yes, he did.
The other cars making pit stops. Car number 11 of Kerry Teague just going out of the pits.
Oh, the 39 car is smoking. Look, Dick Trickle has, I don't know if this is an engine smoke or what it is. I thought the car during his pit stop was smoking out of the right side.
Gets off the pace, no doubt.
Yes, and Jeff Purvis is right behind him. He's going to take the lead away in just a second.
Well, some of those cars that haven't pitted would be in the lead, but he's going to take that position away. It's hard to tell if that's fender smoke or something from the engine.
Do you think maybe that when Loy Allen hit him, he knocked the right rear quarter in on that tire?
Could have.
That's what it looks like.
They might have hit. How about it, Jerry?
they're trying to find out themselves exactly what may have happened. There was contact here in the pits, and Loy Allen probably got the right rear corner. It was minimal contact, but Allen had the brakes on. But apparently, from the crew here, they can't see a whole lot of smoke when the car goes by. But their spotter today is Kenny Wallace, of course, the Busch Grand National regular and then Winston Cup driver and rookie. He is telling them they need to pit, and that's exactly what the ARCA officials have told them. They will bring Dick Trickle down pit road and try to pull that fender out. A tough place for the Rouleau brothers team, who had a shot at victory here today.
I think this replay will document what Benny indicated. The car was smoking in the pit area and before he got back out on the track.
Yeah, you see all that smoke? I thought maybe it was brake, you know, that he used so much brakes coming in, but we can see a great deal of smoke coming out of that 39 car.
Yep.
Bill Venturini coming in the pits, making his pit stop. Meanwhile, here comes Dick Trickle.
Yeah, he was black flagged by the ARCA officials, and so he's coming in. They'll check it out, see what that problem is, but it's going to cost him dearly here under green flag conditions.
As I said earlier, he won this race in 1991, and that was in a Junior Johnson R&D car. He's headed down toward his pit stall once again, Jerry.
Not only did he win that race, Bob, he dominated it, won it by over a lap here. And apparently the ARCA people are going to make him take the car behind the wall and look at it, as they have now raised the hood. Chris, Rusty, and Gary Rouleau, the three Rouleau brothers, who are the three full-time crew members on this machine. And now they have asked for a fire extinguisher to come over with the fireman. Apparently there is some flame from beneath the hood of the car. They are pouring fire chemical in the hood of the car. On the right side, apparently, there is a problem with the valve cover, and oil appears to be leaking. We're peering over into the engine compartment from our area behind pit wall, and there was a lot of smoke, apparently oil, coming from the right side valve cover and header area onto the headers. As they tighten the valve cover down, they fire it back up, and apparently they're going to push it away.
Well, that's a tough break. That car was fast.
I will see if he got the problem fixed. I don't see any smoke right now. Interesting race so far. Trickle pitted, gave up the lead, and then made another pit stop. At the moment, the leader of the race is Rich Bickle in car 45. And a lot of positions have changed just in the last few laps because of pit stops and other things. Mike Wren is second, Dale Frischlin is third, Tim Fedowa fourth, and Jeff Purvis, who was the leader of the race, is now running in fifth position. 60 laps have been completed. There are the 6 through 10 place runners. And we'll take another break and be back with more from Atlanta Motor Speedway. ESPN Speed World today at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Jiffy Lube 500k ARCA Hooters Cup Championship race. The championship has already been won by Tim Steele, who's behind the wall. The leader of the race is Tim Fedowa. When we went away, Rich Bickle was in the lead. He came in for a pit stop. As a matter of fact, he was out of fuel when he hit the pits. Now, Fedowa was a second-place finisher here in 1992. And Ned, he's going to be doing double duty this weekend, or at least he had hoped to, in the Grand National race, but he crashed during practice.
He did crash in practice. Don't know if they'll be able to get that car fixed and get him back in the race tomorrow. But, yeah, he was planning to do double duty. He has not pitted yet, so he is the leader of this race.
He started third, fell back to 17th, and then has moved his way back up. Jerry Punch has a comment.
Actually, guys, when the first caution came out, Tim Fedowa had a problem with the car being loose, so he came down pit road during the first caution flag and put 4 tires on the car, and then made a chassis adjustment. That's one of the reasons he can stay out right now. He will not need to make a regular green flag schedule stop for about 12 to 14 more laps by virtue of that early stop during the first caution.
Hey, that could be some very good strategy. Lets him stay out there longer. Maybe he can catch a caution. In fact, they're not, but just a few cars in the lead lap right now. 4 cars in the lead lap. So if he can get a caution, he'll put himself in great shape.
And the car on the right there is Dale Fischlein, who is in second position. Looks awfully much like a Dave Marcus car, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. For good reason, I guess.
Well, Dave Marcus is going to need this car because he crashed his car in practice. One his Winston Cup car he crashed, I should say.
And I guess went to a backup car, and then would this be the only backup car, or is this it?
I don't know.
Because you know, guys like Dave that doesn't have the big sponsorship bucks might not have the backup cars that some of these others, like a Dale Earnhardt and Kenny Schrader and some of those others that crashed.
Finish line start at 22nd, moved to 14th at the end of 25 laps.
Oh, spin. Looks like Bill Venturini coming off the second corner is back in the fence over there.
Boy, he sure has, and this is the break that Tim Feedewall was looking for because only 4 cars are in the lead lap. Jeremy Mayfield just got back in the lead lap a few laps ago, and boy, he's glad that he did since this caution has come out.
Well, Bill Venturini, a former champion of this series, is going to run for the championship again in 1994. But boy, he's ending 93 against the Atlanta wall. Here it is.
He was running in 6th place, and you can see, Bob, the back end got a little bit loose. He tried to correct it, but couldn't do it and backed it hard into the wall. The rear wheels come off the ground. When he hit the wall backwards, Bill had gotten up to 4th. He started back in the 23rd position and had moved nicely through the field, but unfortunately now is resting against the wall.
Well, we got to say something about all the crashes that we have seen here. Now, they did put a sealer on this racetrack. Is that maybe what's causing all this, Benny?
Well, I think that what they did is the asphalt is cracked in some places. You know, like any road we go down, any road that's been paved for 3 or 4 years, we see some cracks in that pavement. There you see the cracks, those black stripes through the pavement. They went in to put some tar in those cracks, as I understand it, to keep rain, moisture from getting underneath the asphalt. So now, what happens is, now here's Dale Earnhardt this morning. See the black stripes that we see, the dark black? That's tar that they put in the cracks around this racetrack. When the race cars go in and hit this spot of tar, they just lose control. Watch Earnhardt. He just, bam, all of a sudden the car goes around. Looks almost identical to Bill Venturini's crash just a moment ago. Now, Earnhardt will not be able to use this car. He had to go to a backup car. And there we see Earnhardt walking away. And he is limping a little bit. He was not complaining about that in the garage area after the crash, but we can see he limped away from the car.
And that was in the early moments of practice this morning. So for the fact that he'll go to a backup car, he qualified his backup car, so he'll start that car in the position that he qualified.
Well, Dale Earnhardt, as you could see, came out of the infield care center and gave everybody the thumbs up. Jerry, what was he saying after he got out of the care center?
Well, I asked him if he was hurt. He said, no, my pride primarily. But he said, you know, the car stuck when I went into turn 1. But as soon as I got into the throttle, the rear end just came around. The backside of the car just came around as he jumped back in the throttle, or actually eased back in the throttle heading into turn 2. That's exactly the same thing that happened to Jeff Gordon as he went into turn 3 earlier today. His rear end of the car stuck. He got in the throttle, and the car looped around there in turn 3. Fortunately, both those drivers walked away okay, but they will both go to backup cars for Sunday's Hooters 500. We're under caution here for the Jiffy Lube 500 ARCA Hooters Cup Series finale for 1993. Back with more from Atlanta after this.
Big weekend of auto racing here on ESPN. Steve Grissom has already been crowned the Busch Grand National champion for 1993. He'll be racing tomorrow on the pole for that race. And by the way the field was established last March will be Mark Martin. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, the Busch Grand National Slick 50 300 from here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Then on Sunday afternoon, will it be Dale Earnhardt, who is currently leading the NASCAR Winston Cup point standings, or will it be Rusty Wallace walking away with the title for 1993? Find out when you join us live at 12:30 for the Hooters 500, Sunday afternoon, again here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. All of this part of Triple Championship Weekend on ESPN.
So who's starting on the pole tomorrow in the
Martin.
Oh, okay.
Mark Martin.
Okay.
Thank you. Jeff Purvis is moving out of the pit area, but they had the hood up on that car.
I saw that. I don't know what the deal is.
Now, he had taken the lead because he had made a pit stop earlier and got out first, but now he's going to be in 4th place.
Venturini, by the way, has gone behind the wall after driving his car back to the pit area. Let's go to Jerry Punch for a report on Purvis.
Just goes to show you, sometimes it's better to be lucky and be very observant during a pit stop. He came in a couple laps ago during the caution to change tires. While he was in, they noticed possibly some brake fluid leaking from the left front of the car. He went back out before they could stop him. They brought him back in, and the brake line was just about ready to come loose and fall off. They tightened it back up and sent him back out. Let's check in with John Turner, who's standing by with a former winner here, Bill Venturini.
Well, Jerry, the left rear, in fact, the whole rear end of Bill Venturini's car has been pushed back. And Bill, we've seen things like this happen all weekend. Can you get a handle on exactly what happened out there?
No, because all day long we've been working with a tight race car. It was pushing coming off the corner since the first lap. And we were running really good. I was real happy with it. Felt we could loosen it up a little, which we never did, and it just broke loose coming off the corner. It wasn't like it was loose all day. I mean, it was pushing all day, and all of a sudden I know it was going backwards. I have a feeling it's got to do with the sealer they put on. I mean, it's been a bad week for wrecking cars, but the Molly Shield, Amoco, True Value, Apex Chevrolet was running good, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. I mean, we were real happy. Car ran good until that.
How many sponsors was that?
I think it was about 20 sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, you've now got a deal signed, full ARCA schedule for next year. Sponsorship package?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be running for the full ARCA championship again next year, thanks to a gentleman named Bill Egbert, who owns Apex Racing. We've joined forces, and we've got some sponsors for next year, and we're excited.
Well, Bill Venturini is excited. He is out of it today. Tim Feto is still listed atop the leaderboard. Dale Fishline second. We will be back to Atlanta in just a moment.
We're back in Atlanta, and you are seeing perhaps the biggest change of positions ever under caution. They just can't get straightened out here for the restarts.
Hey, they're straightened out right now. These folks should have seen them about a half a lap ago. Had about 5 abreast.
Well, really, Tim Fedois is leading the race, but see, he's back about 2 or 3 cars there. There are a couple of cars that are in the lead lap, technically, because they're in front of him right now. And I think Tim thought that he should, since he's leading the race, that he should move up around him. They came out of the pits before he did, so they're supposed to be able to start up on that outside lane because they are in the lead lap.
And that's exactly what they've done. They've gotten up there in the top line. Well, Jerry Punch.
There goes one on. There goes a white car on the outside. Past them all. Look at him go. Who is that?
And man, this is easy.
They're 3 abreast also back here on the right side. Well, Jerry, what do you got for us?
Guys, you got to give a call to 38-year-old Story City, Iowa driver Bob Hill. He's in the car number 46, and depending upon who's 3 or 4 abreast, he was running in the top 5 somewhere. But it's his second ARCA start ever. The car may look familiar to you. He bought it from Rick Hendrick. It was a backup car for Jeff Gordon at Daytona and Talladega. The same car Buddy Baker tried to qualify at Talladega this year. The engine is awfully strong. It's from Richard Childress Racing. Only his second start, guys, in ARCA. The other one was on 1-mile dirt track. He primarily races dirt out in Iowa, Nebraska, and Minnesota on the NASCAR Busch All-Star Series. So for a young man to come to asphalt for the first time, a speedway for the first time, be running as well as he is, you got to give him a call. Doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, very definitely a good run for him. Well, they still are not aligned properly, and so they're going to keep the yellow flag out for at least one more lap. Right at the line, you rejoin us as the green flag comes out on lap number 78.
Bob Hill, the 46 car we were talking about just a moment ago. Now there's Kerry T going by him in the 11 car.
He's one of those that's in the lead lap, and he wants to stay up there, hoping there'll be a caution here real early, and he'll get to come back around.
It's Donnie Paul in that pit car that just passed him also.
And there comes our leader of the 55 car.
H.B. Bailey moving up alongside him. They're 3 abreast as they come off the corner.
Gary Tigg running away from them right now, hoping to impress his sponsor here today that he can get a full deal for next year to run the ARCA Series.
Look at this tight race here.
The sponsor is Gals Construction. A woman owns a construction company. She calls it Gals Construction.
Okay. I thought maybe that was an abbreviation for something, but it's not. Yeah, I can see it's a gal. Okay. Well, he's certainly impressive right now. Gary Tigg way out in front of the pack as we look out the windshield of Jeff Purvis here. Jeff is currently being shown in the 4th position.
Mayfield is the leader. Fishline is second.
No? Fedois is the leader, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Fedois is the leader.
And Mayfield is 3rd.
I tell you what, we got ourselves a mess right there now. That's what that is.
That is.
A pure natural mess.
Purvis goes on the outside of Fishline, takes over the 3rd position. Got away with it. So that ProCal car that we see right in front of him is Tim Fedewa. Purvis has a run on him coming off the turn, but he can't do anything with him as he came up on that Pete car.
Donnie Paul. And there is Dick Trickle. How many laps is he down?
Just one, according to the scoreboard.
Wow.
He's 13th.
Well, he's two laps down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's a long ways to go. He can still win that thing.
Yeah, that car is fast enough. He can get up there and
there he is.
Pass the leaders, and he's awfully close to doing that right now. And get a caution. That put him on the rundown. Do the same thing again. He'd be right back in it. He's probably thinking that same thing. Tim Fedewa running good here today.
Purvis in second, right behind him, and then Trickle trying to get a lap back.
Fedewa's car split just a little bit coming off that turn. Didn't cost him but about a half a car length of his lead.
And then if they threw the checker right now, Ford would win the manufacturer's trophy because Peter is driving a Ford.
Okay.
But if that one car gets in front of him, they throw the checker, then Chevrolet is going to win the manufacturer's trophy.
Wow.
Kind of like the
Winston Cup.
Winston Cup.
Yep.
Well, there's 1 point separated in Winston Cup. I think there's 2 points separated in here.
Wow, that's amazing. That is parity as far as the manufacturers are concerned.
Now watch it. Look. Now there goes Trickle on the inside of Purvis.
So Trickle trying to get back one of those laps. He's close. That car is fast. Loy Allen there in car number 2, knocking on the door. Now Loy's being shown in 6th place, 1 lap down. He wants to do the same thing as Trickle. He wants to get back up there and pass the leaders. Then if caution comes back out, he'd be back in the thick of this thing.
Watch Trickles. He comes off that 4th corner, ducks down low, and takes that spot away from the 55 car of Tim Fedewa.
Now Trickle is only 1 lap down. He made an unscheduled pit stop. They had some oil coming from the engine. It was a valve cover problem. They have it corrected, and now Trickle is only 1 lap down.
Now Loy Allen wants to get up there and get his lap back. He's only 1 lap down. So if he can pass Tim Fedewa, then that would put him back in the lead lap. There are 5 cars in the lead lap now. And you saw them on the screen there just a moment ago as to who they are as we look at the rest of the field and who's how many laps down and who's out of the race. Here's Allen down on the inside. Just hoping that back end doesn't break loose.
Loy Allen, of course, will run for Rookie of the Year in NASCAR Winston Cup competition in '94.
Oh,
it did break loose. It did break
right
loose.
in front of him. And Purvis, what a great job Purvis did to turn under that car.
The 2 cars sliding to a stop on the apron of the racetrack in turn 4.
That's a break for Dick Trickle, and he gets one of those laps back we were talking about just a moment ago. It's a shame to get your advantage from somebody else's misfortune, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I was so concerned, and I'm sure Loy Allen was concerned when he was down there. He said, just hope that back end doesn't break loose, and it did when he went in the next corner. It's when you have a racetrack that has some slick spots on it, and then you get under another car, and the air at the speed they run here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the air is fouled up under there, and it just took the air off his spoiler. You can see, there he is. He didn't hit anything. The back end just simply broke away. And look at Purvis make an evasive move. Great move there by Jeff Purvis.
I did exactly the same thing here at Atlanta one time. What happens is when you go on the inside there, there's no air to cushion the right side. The quarter panel is accustomed to going in there. Watch as he goes in there. The car right on the outside of him doesn't give that air for the car to lean on. The car goes in and leans on the air. When the car's on the outside of you, there's all dead air out there, and the car just goes around.
And here it is from the original angle we had from the Budweiser blimp. Just a great shot here.
And watch Purvis now as Loy Allen goes around. Purvis starts high, and then he sees he's going high, and he just cuts her back to the left. Great move, and avoided being involved.
That was a great piece of driving by Jeff Purvis. Folks, that's exactly the way you should do it.
And hats off to the camera operator up there in Bud 1. That's George Shaftsma. The pilots today, Bill Clark and Russ Adams. Just a great shot from Budweiser's aerial ambassador, the Bud 1 airship, filled with more than 235,000 cubic feet of helium. Here's Jerry Punch with a report on Jeff Purvis.
You're talking about the great move Purvis made to miss Loy Allen. How about James Finch, who owns the car number 1 and the car number 2? Those are identical Chevrolet Luminas. James Finch had loaned the car to Loy Allen Jr. to run this race with, so he owned both those race cars. His racing operation could have been wiped out in about 3 seconds up in turns 3 and 4, but a great move, as you said, by Purvis. And James Finch's heart rate starting to come back down toward normal now after watching that incident up in turns 3 and 4.
Loy got out of the car under his own power, so he's okay. He has started on the front row in 8 of the 14 ARCA events this year, and Loy Allen finds himself on a hook here as we are at the 87 lap mark of the final race in the Hooters series.
Now there we see the top 5, Bob, and Kerry Teague, we mentioned him. He had passed the leaders, run away from them, so this is a good break for he as well as Dick Trickle.
And there's 6 through 10. Kimmel, Wren, Hill, Thomas, and Breback. We'll be back with more from Atlanta Motor Speedway in just a moment. Under this caution, first and second, Fedewa on top and Purvis on the bottom in for pit stops, and several other cars are also making pit stops.
And they're going under the car on the one. They're going under the car. There's something wrong underneath the car. Fedewa has already made his pit stop. He's waiting for the field to go by. Now he goes back on the racetrack, but we can see the crew. This is part of the Kodak crew under the car trying to fix something. I don't know what.
Well, he sits patiently. Jerry, any idea what's going on there?
Well, you are watching some of the Kodak crew, Johnny Townsend and some of the guys working underneath the car. Apparently, Jeff said that was Johnny Townsend underneath the rear end of the car. Jeff said he felt something moving around beneath the car in the rear end area. So they jacked the car up, put a jack stand beneath it, and now Jeff is still sitting on pit road as they're going to send him back out and try to determine exactly what the problem is. As they're having a little conference here in the pits to try to determine Robert Larkins with the Kodak crew also trying to determine exactly what the problem was. We'll find out and get right back with you.
All right, he does remain on the lead lap. Back out on the racetrack. Well, tomorrow at 11:30, College Game Day previews that big game between Notre Dame and Florida State. Chris Fowler, Coach Corso, and Craig James. All the news in college football before the kickoff of the Michigan-Minnesota game. That ought to be a dandy. The Wolverines, fighting for a bowl bid, travel to the Metrodome to take on the Golden Gophers. And then, it ain't over yet, 7:30 tomorrow night, Louisville and Texas A&M as the Cardinals, who have never beaten a top 10 team, head into College Station to take on the number 10 team in the nation, Texas A&M. Big day of college football on ESPN tomorrow, and of course, a whole weekend of auto racing.
Yeah, that's a nice seat. What am I to charge for that seat?
Bird's eye view, huh? Literally.
Yeah. Is that one of the MRN announcers up there in that booth?
Could be, yeah. Anyway,
one car is back in the pits. Gary Punch, what's going on this time?
Well, they spent most of their time on the previous stop, Eddie, trying to just take a look beneath the car. Apparently, Jeff told him he thought the rear end was walking around beneath the back of the car, moving back and forth, so they jacked the car up and went beneath the car to look at the trailing arms to see if the attachments were intact and everything, all the wells were still intact and everything looked very, very good. Running back in this time to change all 4 tires. They have now changed left side tires, and he is down and away.
Been so long, I almost forgot why we are under caution, but we are under caution because of Loy Allen Jr.'s crash down in turn number 4. He is okay. We should be going back to green in a few more laps, but we'll take another break in the meantime. Stay with us. This is the reason why we are under caution, but just about to go green. Loy Allen, the number 2 car on the inside, just loses the air to lean on. As Benny explains, the car goes around, it hits the wall, nobody else involved. Loy is okay, and the green flag is out on lap number 93. The leader is Jeremy Mayfield. Tim Fedewa is running second, followed by Dale Fishline. 4th is Kerry Teague, and in 5th position is Jeff Purvis.
And Frank Kimmel, the 02 car, the black car right in front. Another one of those guys trying to get a lap back. He gets by Jeremy Mayfield.
Puts him back in the lead lap.
Yes.
And John Kernan is with Loy Allen.
Loy Allen has been checked out. He's okay. He'll also race on Sunday, but Lloyd, did you just lose it, or was it the air taking on spoiler? What exactly happened?
Yeah, me and Tim were really just racing hard, and it was just good, hard racing, and I had to get the car really low on the racetrack to try to get my lap back. We raced hard there for a lap or two, and, you know, right now the Hooters team did a really great job, and I'm looking forward to the Naturally Fresh race on Sunday. And right now I need to do like Jimmy and just count to 20.
Yeah, also, next year, the Rookie of the Year in Winston Cup, Hooters going to be back on the car, possibly with TriStar. When will all that be set?
That's something that we're still looking forward to right now. Possibly this weekend. We'll just have to look and see.
Boy, Allen will drive this weekend in Winston Cup. A little bit disappointed right now, but he's headed off to the garage area.
A lap ago, Dale Fishline almost wrecked right there, and he came even closer in turn 4.
I tell you what, this guy grew up on dirt tracks, and I can see that he's got some dirt track experience. Because, folks, watch this. Watch that. He's crashed.
Wow, he is.
If he wasn't a dirt track driver, he'd have crashed. But he said, well, I've been this sideways before.
Oh, yeah. Looked at that infield many times.
Oh, yeah.
You bet.
Man, oh, man, what a great job he did to save that car.
Hey, there's Shelmerdine.
Yeah. Oh, there's a
somebody's
crash right
blowing.
front.
H.B. Bailey.
Here on turn 4, H.B. Bailey up on the outside, right up in the groove. Come on, spotters, having to slow down and get on the inside, because he's right in the groove on the front straightaway here.
And everybody's going to miss him. This is HB's second incident of the day. He spun down the backstretch quite a few laps ago, and now he has come in contact with the wall on the front stretch.
Well, did Frank Kimmel get that lap back?
No, and now we got spin over in turn 2.
Yeah, there's 2 cars crashing over too. Donnie Paul's one of them.
Yeah. Paul's right in the middle of the racetrack in that pink number 79.
And there's another car to his right that has spun down on the inside. And I can't see now.
Action all over the place, huh? He's going to drive on.
HB is driving on. He looks like he'd be better served if he stopped at a record to it, but
As long as it runs and turn that steering wheel to some degree, we'll go back and they'll get it fixed, and I'll get back out there and run some more.
well, the answer to my question was yes, Frank Kimmel. No, he didn't get the back.
No, he had Mayfield had passed him back. Then just a lap after he moved up there, as a matter of fact.
Well, we're about 6 laps from the halfway point, and we are experiencing our 5th caution of the day. This one because of an incident involving H.B. Bailey. Here is the replay.
Well, that happened in front of some fast race cars, too. For a little bit, they couldn't see for the smoke. Then it cleared enough that they got down on the inside. He stayed up on the outside.
Here comes HB around turns 3 and 4 as he heads for the pits, and so does Fishline.
Dale Fishline headed down pit road. They pitted last time. They made a chassis adjustment. Apparently, they made too much of a chassis adjustment because, as you saw, he almost lost it on the dirt tracking. So they got it way too loose on him. So they'll put on 4 fresh tires for Dale Fishline. They will also make a chassis adjustment on the left rear. They're going to try and tighten that car up. Already on the right side, swinging around to do the left side. Fishline still in for a 4-tire change. Let's go down pit road to Jerry Clark.
John, 54-year-old H.B. Bailey, who had that trouble a moment ago, actually debuted his racing career in Winston Cup racing at this racetrack way back in 1961. He said his best Winston Cup finish, or actually back then a Grand National finish, came at Darlington. He finished in the top 10 in a race won by our own Ned Jarrett. He said it was a memorable day because of Ned winning, but also his top 10 finish. He told me he came here to run his ARCA car this week, couldn't get it dialed in, couldn't get it to handle on Wednesday or Thursday. And then when he went to qualify, they weighed the car and he realized something. He had made a mistake. He brought the Winston Cup car. It was actually about 200 pounds heavier. He took some weight out and dialed it in. But we're under caution right now for an incident coming out of turn 4 involving the veteran Houston, Texas driver, H.B. Bailey. Back with more from Atlanta Motor Speedway after this.
The Jiffy Lube 500k ARCA Hooters Cup race from Atlanta Motor Speedway is under caution once again. And this is the shot from Bud 1, the Budweiser blimp above the racetrack. We're not quite to the halfway mark yet. We're on lap 98. And we are under caution because of a crash here on the main straightaway involving H.B. Bailey, who has since driven the car to the garage area. Atlanta Motor Speedway, purchased a few seasons ago by Bruton Smith, and many, many changes have been instituted already. Notice the road course in the infield there, and of course they have plans for some condominiums to the right on your screen down the backstretch. They've already built a major grandstand, and this year they have built what they call Richard Petty Boulevard, which will definitely help the traffic get out of here.
Well, see, now here's the holdup. HB Bailey spun 2 or 3 laps ago. Well, not that. That's the tow truck. Camera, go left. Go left. Camera, come on. Now go up a little bit. Go up a little bit. There, that guy, right there. See, he is who spun with Donnie Paul up there just a moment ago. See?
Is that Bob Shack?
I think it is.
Yeah, it is Bob Shack, car number 75.
And he came down and hit the inside wall. That's the delay. They've been over there trying to get that going. Maybe they didn't even know he was there because everyone thought that the crash was over in turn 4, but wrong. The crash is over in turn 2.
How about that? Well, it's a good shot from the overhead Budweiser blimp. Dr. Punch, they've given us some great pictures so far today.
They've given us some outstanding pictures, Bob. You know, I had a very special opportunity a couple of months ago. I got a chance to actually go aboard Bud 1 up there and fly that rascal. Now, I tell you, it's not going to break any land speed record, and it's a little bit sluggish as far as the yoke, but I tell you, the refreshment cart is fantastic. It was a great experience for me to be able to be aboard that blimp, and what a tremendous view you got up there. I wanted to go up there and see what our camera sees for those races, and I got a chance to go up there and had a wonderful time thanks to the fine folks at Budweiser.
And you drove, right?
Flew, not drove, Benny.
Well, he said he drove the thing, right?
Well,
After he went through that refreshment deal?
I actually flew it. No. I actually flew it. It's you fly it much like an airplane, except that when you pull it up, it goes up and it keeps going. You really got to push the yoke back down to get it to move. It's very, very sluggish, but certainly a lot of fun, and the view is just absolutely fabulous.
Well, you would have to serve me the Budweiser cart before going out, I'll tell you that. John Kernan has a report on Jeremy Mayfield.
Bob, Jeremy pitted under this caution. They took on fuel and cleaned the windshield because he's having a problem with the sun so low this late in the day. Whenever it pops out from behind the clouds, as it has been doing every few minutes here, it really blinds the drivers. So he couldn't see, he had a lot of gunk on his windshield. They cleaned that off. They wanted to change 4 tires, but they couldn't. They were out of new tires, so they had to go shopping in the pit area. Just talked with the crew. They have talked to Tim Steele's team, and they've apparently got 2 sets of tires on the way from Tim Steele's team. Now, one other note on Kerry Teague, who's shown atop the leaderboard right now. They are also out of new tires. They only have used tires left, so they're looking up and down pit road trying to find some new tires.
Well, riding with Jeff Purvis, and you can see a glare on the windshield. Now, it is for the most part cloudy here this afternoon, but as the afternoon wears on and the sun gets lower in the 3rd and 4th turns, it's going to be a problem in terms of glare off that windshield.
Yeah, especially if the clouds, as John said, they're sort of coming and going over the sun, and can make it tough.
Next time around, we will be at the halfway mark. The green comes out. Kerry Teague is the leader of this race. Jeff Purvis is running in 2nd, and Dick Trickle is once again trying to get his other lap back. If he should pass Teague here and then a caution come out, he would be back on the lead lap.
And he's right there in position to do it, where he's shown in, 6th position now. Trickle is right back up there in 6th. There are 5 cars in the lead lap. Halfway mark given to Kerry Teague, the leader. Jeremy Mayfield was leading the race before the caution, and he dropped back to 5th on that pit stop. Jeremy has a win this year. He won at the Metro 25 150 at Flat Rock, Michigan.
Flat Rock, yes, sir. Flat Rock Speedway. Yes, sir. You won a sticker race there one time, Ned.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy, I would like to see that.
I knocked both front fenders off, and the radiator was back against the fan because it wasn't turning. The generator light was on, but hey, I won.
That's right.
Minor detail, all that other stuff.
Kerry Teague doing a great job of holding Trickle off there right now. Teague should be impressing that sponsor here today, guys, because he is having a good run.
Yes, he is.
Looks like he put a little distance on Trickle down that straightaway.
Trickle closes in the 3rd and 4th corners, but yeah.
Trickle's car is really getting off the turns good. It looks like it turns well coming off the turn. We've seen others that sort of pushed up coming off those turns, but his just seems to cut left and come right on around.
It looks to me like the Trickle's car is losing a cylinder. I mean, he's losing some power. Because look, Jeff Purvis has come up and has almost caught Dick Trickle. And look at that glare of that sun there, that brightness. The sun is not out, but it is bright going in that corner. And Purvis is right on the back bumper of Dick Trickle right now. So it looks like the Trickle's car is a little bit off right now.
It's not getting off that corner the way it was earlier that I was talking about just a moment ago there. Whether it's maybe the car started pushing or whether he has lost power or what the deal is. But he's not coming off as good as he was.
Well, while we watch this 3 cars, let's bring you up to date briefly on Winston Cup activity earlier today. Dale Earnhardt crashed hard in practice, brought out the backup car, qualified 19th. Rusty Wallace will start 20th on Sunday. Harry Gant and Brett Bodine on the front row Sunday for the Hooters 500. The smoking car is Joey Sontag from Little Elm, Texas.
He has it down on the inside, Bob, out of the groove going into turn 1. So we'll see if he is able to get back around to the pits. Looks like he might be able to.
Dr. Jerry Punch has an update on Dick Trickle, who's still trying to get back on the lead lap.
I just spoke with his crew chief and car owner, Gary Rulo, who denies the fact that they have a problem with the engine. He said, we do not have a miss, we don't have a cylinder down. He said, Dick just radioed and said that the car is so tight in the corners, he can't get it to turn unless he backs down to the throttle. So he's backing out, coming out of turn 2, waiting for the tires to come in. Now, once they come in, he'll be able to go floorboard it out of turn 2 and pull away. Right now, he's just biding his time.
All right, well, good. I'm glad. I said it looked like he was on 7 cylinders, and it's obvious that he wouldn't be able to keep up that way. The way he is keeping up on 7 cylinders. So I'm glad Jerry explained that he does have a pushing problem.
Yeah, it definitely is not coming up off of those corners like he was earlier. Now he's maybe getting, well, there you see it again.
Yeah, you see it
off that turn. And Kerry Tigg went down coming off the turn.
Did that last time.
Trying to break the draft a little bit on him.
Exactly. Once again, Trickle closes in now when they get in the corner, but coming out of the corner, T pulls away. And Purvis, meanwhile, is right behind Trickle, and Purvis is running in second spot. Here's our AutoZone race summary. Kerry Teague, the leader at the halfway point, had led 7 of the 105 laps. 7 leaders, 8 lead changes. We've had 5 caution periods that have taken a total of 27 laps to clean up, and the average speed is a little over 111. Those that have led: Tim Fedewa, Jeff Purvis, Bob Breback, Jeremy Mayfield, Dick Trickle, Rich Bickle, and Kerry Teague. As we see Purvis go around Dick Trickle, that wasn't for position. Those out of the race include last year's champion Bobby Boucher, also Bob Donner, and Tim Steele, who by starting the race today did clinch the championship for 94. Now here is Tim Fedewa right up on the back bumper of Dale Fishline.
This is for 4th spot. We saw Fishline come in, change 4 tires, and the 55 car has caught him, Fedewa, and his Ford has caught the Chevrolet of Fishline, and now he's trying to get by and watch as he ducks down to the bottom of the racetrack and makes it, Starsay made it look easy. Well, he's not quite by it, is he?
Well, he's, yeah, he is now, yeah. But I'm sure he was sitting there too, or at least his car owner's going, please back in, don't break loose when he comes off of there. And it didn't. So he takes over the position. Jeremy Mayfield has moved up to 3rd. He came out of the pits in 5th place, but has moved to 3rd and is driven away from this battle for 4th and 5th.
That's Kurt Shelmerdine, the 3rd car there, as the leader, Kerry Teague, maneuvers his way through traffic, and so does Jeff Purvis.
Well, there might be a problem for Kerry Teague. He's running awfully well out front here right now, but John, he could have a problem. Ooh, boy, as he gets close in traffic here. John, go ahead.
Well, they have a potential problem. They're going to pit for the last time of between laps 150 and 155. Fuel will be no problem. The tires could be. This is the last set of tires that the team has left. They have about 30 laps on them. So they're going to be at a disadvantage as the race gets down to the late stages. They've got a crewman now running up and down pit road trying to see if they can buy a set of tires from a car that has fallen out. They're going to check with Loy Allen's team to see if possibly they can buy a set of tires from them. But remember, as we told you earlier, the car that Loy Allen drove was owned by Jeff Purvis's car owner, so they may have a problem right there getting tires from them.
Boy, it's really interesting to watch Teague move through the traffic. He's high and low and in the middle, and here comes Purvis right behind him.
He's a great short track driver, and he got a lot of that experience at Concord, North Carolina, and other short tracks.
So Teague continues to lead this race. Jeff Purvis is running in second. Mayfield is third. Tim Fiedema is fourth. And Dale Fishline is in fifth. And we have completed 114 laps. Alabama's Steve Grissom has already won the '93 Busch Grand National Championship. He'll be in action tomorrow. On the pole for the race tomorrow will be Mark Martin. And we will have it for you at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the Slick 50 300 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. On Sunday, the battle for the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. It has come down to 5-time titleist looking for number 6, Dale Earnhardt, who currently leads the points, and Rusty Wallace, who's trying to win his second series championship. That's the Hooters 500. The championship will be determined then Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Time, live here on ESPN. It's all part of Triples Championship Weekend on ESPN. Our leader is Kerry Teague. Tim Steele has already won the championship of this series. While we were away,
Had
a little bit of a spin.
Coming off the second corner. And around the car goes exactly like H.B. Bailey before. Who was that, Bob?
Joel White in 49.
Joel White, he spins down the back straightaway. Spinning. And now he's going to come down to the left. And here's when the car almost gets him. Ooh, that's when Jerry Foyt went by.
Yeah, sure was. Joel White is in his first race, by the way.
Well, that'd be exciting.
Wow.
He's got something to go back home and tell him.
No kidding. You know, lots of times today we have seen cars get sideways there off the second turn, and a few years ago you may hold your breath hoping that air didn't get underneath the car and turn it over, and we have seen nothing close to that this week. So those aerodynamic changes that both NASCAR and ARCA have made over the years are paying off.
There we saw Gal's construction on the side of Kerry Teague's car. Uh-oh, there we got a crash up in turn 3.
That's Breback, isn't it?
And it's right in front of the leader, but the leader slows down as Breback gets down out of the way.
Boy, he's hurt that car badly. I hope he's okay. Breback started second. He was on the outside of the front row when we began this event.
And there's no caution plate. Come on, guys, come on. Come on.
Finally, the caution comes out. Bob Breback's car, badly damaged, is at the bottom of the racetrack in turn, is that 2?
4.
Is it 4?
Yeah. Yeah, the leader was just as Kerry Teague was approaching turn 3 as Breback was spinning and hitting the wall.
Here it is. Oh, hard contact on the left front, and then he hit the left rear.
Comes down, and I tell you, these guys have been so fortunate today as they come across the racetrack after spinning and hitting the wall that no one has collected them as they came down.
He was the 1990 Hooters Cup Series champion. He's been in the top 10 of series points in 10 of the past 12 seasons, and this year came in 5th position.
His best finish here at Atlanta, Bob, was 3rd in 1990 when he won the championship. For the year that he won the championship.
Well, the ambulance and the wreckers are approaching the car, and we will have a report further when we come back to Atlanta Motor Speedway and we resume coverage of the Jiffy Lube 500k.
Have about 30 laps on Kerry Teague.
Rescue crew is at the 34 car. Bob Breback is out of the car. He's okay. He got out under his own power. Jerry Punch.
And Joe Slonkoski, Bob Breback's crew chief, just told me a minute ago that Bob always thinking being in the car when he got out of the car. At first he told him it was okay. Then he said, sell the tires. Number 2, because he realized the day was over and he realized everybody needed tires. So Joe Slonkoski was running up and down pit road trying to get bids for the 4 or 5 tires that they have left. And they have a couple other cars. Now, we've already had a couple of cars pit during the caution flag. Jeff Purvis has been on pit road to change 4 tires. And I think our leader, Kerry Teague, is headed down pit road, and John Kernan is standing by.
Kerry Teague's crew already completed the right side tire change. They're going to put those 30-lap old tires down. Notice sitting over by the fence, they've got 3 sticker tires sitting over there that have magically appeared in the last few minutes. The car has picked up somewhat of a push. No chassis difference that time, just 4 tires. They cleaned the windshield and put gas in, and he is away.
John, why would they not have pitted when they came around the first time when some other cars pitted?
Okay, Ned, they were waiting for Kerry to come in and pit. They had been talking. They weren't going to pit because they knew they still had to pit one more time. They couldn't make it the rest of the way on fuel. Then whenever they decided that they were going to pit, apparently Kerry didn't get the word because they were just as surprised that Kerry didn't come down pit road the first time by, and they did bring him in, and now they will only need one more pit stop. Let's go down pit road to Jerry Punch.
And apparently Jeff Purvis has come back down pit road for 2 reasons. Number one, they're going to top the car off with fuel, even though they cannot make it the rest of the way. They'll come up about 12 or 13 laps short. But primarily they were taping the top of the windshield on the outside for the glare. It's almost 4 o'clock here on the East Coast, and apparently the sun really getting to be a problem for the drivers as they head into the turn.
So Jeff Purvis back out onto the racetrack, and it is 4 o'clock Eastern time. For those of you just joining us, we have completed 125 of 204 laps in this race, and you can see the tape that they have placed on the windshield of the number 1 car. The leader of this race is Kerry Teague, and it's the final ARCA Hooters Cup race of 1993. We're at Atlanta Motor Speedway and the Jiffy Lube 500k, part of the ARCA Hooters Cup Championship. Tim Steele has already won the title, and we are getting set to go back to green because Kerry Teague made a pit stop. The lead has been overtaken by Dale Fishline. Tim Fedewa is running in second. Jeremy Mayfield is in third. And Teague and Purvis are 4th and 5th.
Dick Trickle up there in the 39 car trying his best to get a lap back. He goes by the car that spun just a moment ago. That's the, 49 car? First race this guy's ever driven?
Joel White.
Well, Trickle is only 1 lap down, being shown in 6th place.
And the field summary will show you how they stand. Getting set for the restart.
That guy in that 46 car has been pretty impressive today. First race on a track of this size, and he's only 1 lap down.
Bob Hill.
And won the pole at Springfield. We talking about the dirt tracks. He was on the pole up there. That's a 1 mile dirt. He was driving Kenny Schrader's Winston Cup car up there that weekend.
Quite a different venue from this track. And the pace car ducks off, comes in the pits. And the field now under control of Fishline, who begins to accelerate coming out of turn 4 as we see the green flag waving once again on lap 129. Back to competition.
Fishline gets him a good jump, takes off from Dick Trickle there.
Trickle does get between Fishline and Fedewa.
If they've been able to get some of that push out of that 39 car, that pedigree dog. No, it's not pedigree dog food. It's pedigree food for dogs. I was told that was incorrect.
There's Kerry Teague. Going to start up briefly now.
Wow.
We're watching Trickle as he tries to get around Fishline and get back on the lead lap, and he may do it here.
Doing it the hard way, up on the outside. Now, don't know if Fishline took on tires when he made that pit stop. He was first out. He might have just taken on fuel, I'm not sure. And if he didn't take on tires, that certainly worked to Trickle's advantage.
There's Jeremy Mayfield coming up there trying to take that 2nd spot away from Fedewa.
He said, be careful going into that turn, Tim. Jeremy. He did.
In 95, Fedewa's in 55, Fishline in 71, and
there
Trickle
Kerry
has
Teague.
passed all of them. Yeah, Teague right there in 4th position. He used to be your TV repairman, didn't he, Benny?
Still is. Yes, he used to be. Yeah. He doesn't do this for a living. I mean, he'd love to do it for a living, but he has to fix TVs during the week, and he comes by and fixes my TV
when he come up to Newton. That's only about 50 miles because one of our TVs is broke.
Yeah, for you, I'm sure he would.
Okay. Of course, if he wins this race, he won't talk to
That's
us
right.
about fixing TVs.
There are the first four. They're hooked together, and now Fishline a little bit high through the corner.
And three abreast.
And Teague moves from 4th to 2nd.
And there comes Purvis going in the corner, 3 abreast.
Tim Fedewa has the lead. Purvis to 3rd, Mayfield to 4th, and Fishline back to 5th. Went from 1st to 5th and a half a lap.
It certainly did. I think his car slipped a little bit as he started off of 4th, and he chased it and had to back off, and boy, they took off.
Well, the sun is out now. John mentioned a moment ago that it pops out behind the clouds occasionally. Well, the sun is out now. We could just see. Oh, there comes Kerry Teague for the lead.
He's got the lead at the line. Kerry Teague back in the lead. Here comes Purvis to 2nd.
And the sun has come out at the worst time of the day it could, didn't it?
Yeah, it needs to be cloudy now.
Yeah.
And Mayfield is going to go to 3rd, or at least he's trying to get 3rd from Fedewa on the backstretch. They're side by side. Mayfield on the inside of Tim, and look out now.
I believe they touched a little bit.
They did touch. Wow.
They did a good job.
I'll tell you one thing. Tim Fedewa is scared to death right now. All of a sudden, there's a car beside him sideways, bumping him.
He finished 2nd here a year ago, Fedewa. Roy Allen. Well, that blimp shot just lets you see how close when they lap a car or whatever, they really come close together.
Yep. There's your first 4 running nose to tail. Now Purvis looking to the inside of Kerry Teague, who, by the way, started 32nd in this race.
By the way, for all you folks up around Louisville, Kentucky, Frank Kimmel, who was running 7th, has taken his car into the garage area.
Yeah, he's from Jeffersonville, Indiana, which is down in the Louisville area. Now the first 3 cars put a little bit of racetrack between themselves and 4th place.
Tell you what, that Jeremy Mayfield's doing a pretty good job right now.
Yes, he is. He's having a great run today. And talking about putting distance, Bob, we have almost forgotten about Dick Trickle that got back in the lead lap. He is just simply driven away from him.
Yep. You saw a glimpse of him there.
On the outside, Purvis taking the lead on the outside. Jeremy Mayfield's going to try to follow him.
Boy, Teague just doesn't want to give up the spot, but he finally has to.
But those tires that he put on has 30 laps on them. So that's going to make a great difference. I believe that the one car of Jeff Purvis, I think they had new tires for him.
I'll tell you what, these guys are having great fun right now because they think that they're impressing some people, and they are.
Sure.
They're impressing me and most everyone down there watching this race. Kerry Teague, Jeff Purvis, Jeremy Mayfield, all these guys are impressing. They're doing a great job right now.
John Kernan has a report as Kerry Teague now is in a battle for 2nd place, and Fedewa is coming up too.
Well, Bob, tires could be a big problem for Kerry Teague late in this race. They have got 2 stickers for right sides they can put on the right side, but do they change for some other older tires with 40 or 50 laps on the left side, leave the ones on that they have? What they're concerned about is if they decide to leave the tires that are on the left side of the car there and not replace them, that they might have a blowout late in the race. So it's going to be a tough call for this crew, and they are talking it over right now.
Yeah, not to mention, you know, the wearing problem is something to be concerned about, but also the car simply won't run as fast on those older tires.
Look at this, Fedewa way up high and gotten the loose and had to back off.
Yeah, he did a good job of really saving that car because he could have wrecked there very easily.
Now Mayfield and Teague side by side again as they come up on a slower car. Wow!
Mayfield has to back off.
Oh, now there's still 3 abreast. Wow.
Mayfield really got out of the gas there. Well, he had to.
That's right, that 18 car was right directly in front of him.
Yeah, that's Robert Ham, another Alabama driver. Well, we've seen a lot this afternoon, and we've still got a lot to go. So stay with us as we take another break. We'll be back in just a moment to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Jiffy Lube 500k ARCA race. There is the leader, Jeff Purvis, in car number 1, putting another lap on Jerry Foyt. second place. Kerry Teague has it. Jeremy Mayfield is there in third, and Tim Fedewa is fourth.
Tell you what, this spot is really being contested. Look at Jeremy Mayfield coming right on the back bumper of Kerry Teague's car.
Jeremy was the pole sitter at Decorn, Illinois earlier this year, and Teague goes from second to fourth.
A little bit behind corner, and allowed Mayfield and Fedewa to both pass him.
That's an Oldsmobile that Kerry is driving there.
Second, third, and fourth position as Jeff Purvis has pretty much checked out. But probably the fastest car on the racetrack is Dick Trickle. He is back on the lead lap, but he'll need a caution to get back in contention.
Yeah, there's no way. I don't think that he could come all the way around the racetrack and catch Jeff Purvis.
Well, Purvis continues to lap the slower cars. Jerry's looking pretty good.
Indeed he is, Bob. And Jeff is making his sixth ARCA start in 1993. He's been impressive. Remember, he won at Daytona. You saw that in the opening part of our show. He won at Michigan. He's on the pole at both Pocono races, finishing second and sixth. But I think his most impressive performance of the year came at Talladega on ESPN. He lost 4 laps under green, changing a valve cover, made up all 4 laps, and finished on the lead lap in the top 10. In fact, if we'd had about 10 more laps, he might have won the race at Talladega coming from 4 laps down.
Well, Purvis may be on his way to a victory here today. Of course, he was released from the 4 Winston Cup team, and we asked him, can you now make a new start and still be successful in this business?
Well, it takes a few slaps in the face for me. It seems to anyway, but maybe so. Maybe this is, you know, you learn something from everything that happens, and seems like I get plenty of lessons, and but I'm not going to quit racing. I love it. I'm not here because I want to make tons of money. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it, and so I'm going to just keep coming back until I just get where I need to be.
I tell you what, guys, you could almost just see the disappointment in his eyes, hear the disappointment in his voice as he was talking to me about, you know, losing the ride in that Kodak car and not taking that car to the front where he felt like he wanted to be and where the car should be.
And it was surprising.
Really?
I mean, you know, you see him run the way he's running here today, the way that Jerry talked about at Talladega and at Daytona, and then it just simply didn't work in the Kodak car. I don't know if the few hundred pounds weight difference in the horsepower, not a great deal of difference in the horsepower, but there was something that just simply didn't work as well for him.
Well, he will be at least running part-time in NASCAR Winston Cup competition next year when Neil Bonnet is not running the car owned by James Fenn. There is
run that car some other than when Bonnet runs it?
Apparently, yeah. Ah, that's the word from Warren getting in the garage area. 4-second lead for Purvis over Tim Fedewa. Here's Tim moving off corner number 4 and passing the 83 car driven by Mike Wren.
His 55 car is owned by Ray and Diane DeWitt out of Lansing, Michigan. Tim Fedewa, oh, there's the Bob Strait. Spins coming off turn 4. The caution flag is out.
Another close call. This may be the break that Dick Trickle is looking for.
Yep, I think you're right, Bob.
And Jeff Davis was the car that we saw that just missed. And Dick Trickle back in the lead lap. There's our leader. We saw Trickle go by. Makes up that last lap. He's behind, and now I think we'll get to see Dick Trickle and Jeff Purvis get hooked up, and
Trickles can still be a contender.
Yes.
Here's a replay of the spin off of corner 4. Oh, Straight's just, Straight is just down on the apron of the racetrack.
Looked like the left wheels were down on the back end, got away from him, and around she went. And boy,
oh man,
he almost got tagged.
Man,
here's another angle.
Yeah, he gets scarred just too low on that white line, and around it goes.
That's Bob Hill, who is right behind him and escapes. And that's Shelmerdine.
I'll tell you what, there's not many people that can spin in that spot coming off and not hit anything. Watch Jeff Davis. Man, oh man, if that car hadn't swung just at the right time.
He was headed right for the wall.
Man.
Well, that's our 7th caution of the day. It comes out on lap 151. Bob Straight losing it off of corner number 4. And now we have another round of pit stops, or at least some that will occur as the pace car has the field in tow. Coming down, Jeff Purvis, Tim Fedewa, Jeremy Mayfield, Kerry Teague, all coming in for pit stops, and so is Dick Trickle.
Dale Fishline, all of those in the lead lap coming in now. There are 6 cars now that are in the lead lap.
All of them are in, and the hood is up on Jeremy Mayfield, who was on the bottom of your screen. In the middle is Fedewa, on top is Purvis. And pulling in just ahead of Purvis, you can see the yellow car, and that's Dick Trickle.
Kerry Teague has his service already headed down pit road, but he was pitting way up towards turn 4, and he beats Merrifield out, so it looks like Teague might take the lead. Let's see as he goes out. Yep, he's going to take the lead. Mayfield will come out second.
Yep. Fedewa is going to be third. Purvis and Trickle are still waiting to get their service completed. Now Purvis begins to pull out. Fishline is rolling up toward turn 4, coming down.
Still working on the Trickle car.
Looks like they're having trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, they have some kind of trouble on the left side there.
What happened, Jerry?
Well, in the Jeff Purvis stop, apparently Jeff didn't want to leave because he couldn't see. He said, I'm having trouble seeing out of the windshield. He said, we got to clean it because the glare is so bad when it's dirty. We can't see at the left side of the windshield. So they were cleaning the windshield and trying to put some tape on it. No sense in having fresh tires when you can't see where to drive it. So they were making adjustments there on for Jeff Purvis. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Jerry's a very interesting story could develop for Kerry Teague. He was a very quick pit stop. It was a 4-tire change. Guys, they put on 3 sticker tires. They put a 34-lap-old tire on the left front. So that's a story we're going to have to watch. The car had really picked up a bad push, so the caution came at a good time. They just didn't have enough new tires.
So he put on his cleanest dirty shirt, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
All right, we're under caution. We'll take another break. At Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Jiffy Lube 500k ARCA Hooters Cup Race. Refreshments are being served, ladies and gentlemen. Still under caution as we come back to ESPN Speed World coverage of the Jiffy Lube 500 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kerry Teague is the leader of this race. They're in that black and pink car. Jeremy Mayfield is in second, and Tim Fedewa in third position. And again, our aerial shots today are from the 194-foot-long Bud 1 airship, which contains 234,000 cubic feet of helium. It's the eye in the sky that has been at more than 50 events this year. Here's Jerry Punch.
A moment ago, we saw a delay behind me when the Ruler brothers were trying to change tires for Dick Trickle. Here's what happened. The socket was stripped inside. See, it's rounded off inside. It wouldn't actually grip the lug nut, and so he tried to turn it. The lug nut would not turn. They had a problem with the right rear. They had to take the socket off, get another one put on, and that cost them about 20 extra seconds here in the pits for Dick Trickle. Back upstairs.
Fortunately, it was under caution, and now we get set to go back to green flag racing.
At Rockingham, Jimmy Spitzer had that same problem on the left rear. Cost him about 2 laps on the green.
155, and the green is out.
And Mayfield just didn't get going. That white car right in the middle is Jeremy Mayfield was running second. And look at all these cars are blowing by him.
He'll drop back to 6th position. And there are the top 6 with 50 laps to go.
I think he's got the car up to speed now, and I see that sponsor on his car, Vermeer. I'm not sure what that is. And here comes Purvis trying to get on the inside of Fedewa. I'm told that's heavy equipment on that. The Vermeer sponsorship on that 95 car is heavy equipment.
Now here's Trickle looking to the inside of Fishline.
He's trying to do some bulldozing right there, isn't he?
I don't know. They're going to go into the corner side by side. Be careful.
Yep, that back end could slip out from under you, but he backed off going into the turn and then got got some momentum coming off the turn, Bob, and that he was in the right position at the worst part of the track, so Dick Trickle knows how to do that.
So you can probably talk that up to experience.
Yep.
Look at Purvis come here. Gary Teague's looking in his rearview mirror and says, guys, please stay there. I need to win this. Worse than either one of you guys do. Both of you guys got a good ride. I'm looking for one.
John Kernan has the report from the Kerry Teague pits. John?
I tell you what, Kerry Teague hopes to not see the color yellow the rest of the afternoon. He does not need another restart, because on that restart, as he was shifting in the fourth gear, the clutch went out on him. So talk about the guy needing to have this race go the rest of the way green. They've got their fingers crossed here in the pits. Now let's go down to Jeff Purvis's pit where Dr. Jerry Punch is standing by.
Thank you, John. Sometimes it does pay to be lucky. That's exactly what's happened for Jeff Purvis. When the caution came out, he came down pit road to go ahead and change all 4 tires. Had he not, he would have probably been in the wall in a couple laps. Let me show you. This is his right rear tire that came off. Unbeknownst to Purvis and the crew, he had a large cut in this tire, a big divot. And that's what you're seeing inside, folks. That's the cords of the radial itself. He probably would have run less than 5 or 6 more laps and had to pit anyway. So a break for Jeff Purvis.
He is back to third now, not quite as close to Fedewa as he was a couple of laps ago. Fedewa, meanwhile, is within a car length and a half of the leader, Teague.
Tell you what, we might not have talked enough about Tim Fedewa this afternoon.
He's been right there all day. Here he is, coming off of corner number 2, going down the backstretch. They're side by side.
And that opens up a lot of drafts, so Purvis called him right back in a hurry.
He goes in the corner hard, goes back in front.
Well, he almost got those left tires down on the apron, it looked like to me.
Yeah, he went high and then pulled her all the way down across the racetrack. It worked. Car handling well for him to be able to do that.
This could be a big, big victory for whoever wins this afternoon. I'm telling you, there's plenty of people here. We talk about the scouts in baseball and football and what have you. There's a lot of scouts here this afternoon watching this race.
And look right behind these 3 cars. That yellow car is coming. Dick Trickle was pretty far behind when he got up into 4th place, and he'll come into the picture. There he is.
Yep.
He is coming, gentlemen.
Don't count him out. Well, Tim Fedewa is currently in 2nd position, just a car length and a half back or so. Tim, what would a win here in the Jiffy Lube 500 mean for your team?
If we could get a win here on Friday in ARCA, I think we could show the sponsors, you know, what we're all about as a team and carry that on over the bush for next year.
Exactly what we have been saying all afternoon. Look out, Purvis heads for the top as
Here comes
Trickle moves to the bottom, and Trickle has 3rd.
Jeff didn't need it for that to happen, Jeff Purvis.
No, but he was lucky to pull it out again when you get that high up on the track here. Now, we've seen drivers run high here in the past in Western Cup competition, but not this weekend so far. Maybe by Sunday. They're hoping that things will get worked out so this track won't be as slippery and dangerous as it has been here in qualifying practice.
Meanwhile, looking to the inside of Teague, for those of you who just joined us, Dick Trickle has been a threat all day. He did have to make an unscheduled pit stop because the car's valve covers were a problem there. But anyway, they got it fixed, and he is now right up there for 3rd and may challenge for 2nd.
Here he comes. He's on the inside of the 55 Tim Fedewa Ford. But Fedewa fights back, drives in that 3rd corner hard.
Trickle knows that's been a trouble spot right down on the inside. If you get down there and that air is taken away, we've seen several cars spin out as a result of it.
We got 40 laps to go, 40 to go.
And Jeff Purvis has driven back up on the backbone of Trickle.
And Jeremy Mayfield drops out of at least the lead draft. He is in the pit area. John, what's wrong?
Bob, the car is pulled in because it is overheating. He had radioed in a few laps ago and told the team that he thought he was losing the cylinder. In fact, he said on his radio that it was running on about 7.5 cylinders. Well, the empty temperature, the water temperature, shot way up, and so Mayfield pitted.
Well, you remember on his last regularly scheduled pit stop, we saw the crew put the hood up on it, and now they've got it up again as he sits on pit road. And we watch this great battle for the lead. Trickle is in second and right on the back bumper of Kerry Teague.
Trickle and wait. He'll try to get under Kerry Teague as they come off that fourth corner. They're going in three. Now they come off the corner. Here's where he'll try to make his pass, but didn't have him set up properly this time. He'll have to wait maybe turn two. But I think Dick Trickle will try to make his pass as he comes off the turns.
There's Mayfield down the inside coming back out of the pits.
Got a long way to go, over 30 laps to go, so they can take their time. Look, here he comes. Here comes Trickle on the inside.
Down the front stretch, they're side by side at the line. Trickle ahead by a nose as they go into the corner.
But they're coming up on traffic. They're on traffic. He had to back off.
And he may lose second as Speedway goes to the outside.
Pensy right in behind the slow car. Good heads-up driving by Tim Feedwa. Saw Trickle down there on the inside, boxed him in right behind that lap car, and said, I go by. And there goes Purvis by as well.
Man, he goes back to fourth and challenging for the lead. He might have even led that last lap. Now, Trickle is fourth.
Got to do all that work over. He had methodically passed them. And then they methodically passed him back when they put him in behind that slow car.
Just a matter of seconds.
Yep.
But he's coming back again.
Boy, he's been a great race today.
It really has. We have not seen a lot of cars in contention for the win, but we've seen 4, 5, or 6. And man, it's anybody's race.
Purvis sees Trickle coming back up there, and he knows that he's going to have to make a move. He doesn't want Trickle to get back around him because he knows how tough he'd be to pass. He wants to get in front of those two cars in front of him before Trickle gets by him.
Trickle heads to the outside of Purvis once again.
Oh, here comes 55 on the outside.
Now they're 2 abreast, 2 rows deep, down the back stretch. Do we have a change of leader? Fedewa? Yes. Fedewa takes the lead. Here comes Trickle now on the outside on the high line. He and Purvis are side by side for third, but at the line it is Fedewa, Teague, Purvis, and Trickle. But look at Trickle.
He's going to pin Purvis in behind that slow car now.
Yep.
Oh, Purvis.
Oh, man.
Look at Jeff. Oh, and there's a crash coming off turn 4.
Dale Fishline.
Fishline and Davis. Let's see what happens. This isn't necessarily a race to the win.
And remember, John Kernan said that Kerry Teague didn't need a caution. Unfortunately, he hasn't.
Yep. Clutch on the car, he said, went out on the last restart, so he's going to have major problems, if that is the case, when they go green from this caution. There is Jeff Davis, who was one of the 2 cars involved in that incident in turn 4. The other one was the 71 car of Dale Fishline, and that car is much more badly damaged.
And he was running in 5th place.
And he is okay. You can see him moving around in the cockpit. He had had a very, very strong and impressive race.
Has been a very good day for Dave Marcus because his Winston Cup car looks very similar to that.
Yeah, we wonder what this will do for Marcus as far as Sunday's Hooters 500 is concerned.
That's right. There's damage on the rear end of the 81 car driven by Jeff Davis from Anaheim Hills, California. We'll be right back. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, located south of Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia. We're 172 laps into the Jiffy Lube 500k, and we're going overtime, so that means our coverage of the Mexican Open will be delayed until we can finish this race. Jim Kelly and Gary Koch are standing by to give us a report on the Mexican Open at the conclusion of this event. There's Dale Fishline's car, which is being dragged off the 4th turn after being involved in an accident up there with Jeff Davis.
I must stay and watch that Mexican Open because didn't I read John Daly was going down and playing that?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he was suspended by the PGA for something, and he's down in Mexico playing in that Open.
I saw a little bit of it yesterday evening, and he was up in there. He had his first 9 were not too good, and then he had come back and made a bunch of birdies and right in the thick of it.
Okay, well, we are under caution, and as we look up toward the entrance to the pits, we see Fedewa, Trickle, and Purvis coming in.
Oh, Kerry Teague didn't come in, though.
No, he didn't.
Because he couldn't leave if he got there because he has no clutch.
That's right.
Plus, they don't have any tires anyway.
That's right.
Got enough gas to go the rest of the way, so.
Triple split pit stop. Fedewa on top, then Purvis, and on the bottom is Trickle. Everybody on the right side right now.
Trouble on the right side of Trickle's car.
Jerry, you can see this.
They are having trouble on the right rear tire of Dick Trickle's car. The Rouleau brothers having a problem there getting the tire put back on. Meanwhile, a lot of concern in Tim Fedewa's pit. He has lost first and possibly second gear. They're going to try to push him out of the pits. He starts off in third gear. It almost dies, and then he gets it fired again as he will beat Jeff Purvis across the line back to the racetrack. He started out in third gear. They are still working on the Dick Trickle car. They finally get the right rear tire on, come around to the left side, so it'll cost him a little bit of time as far as position here under the caution, but not as tough as it would have been had it been a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, that's going to put him back at the tail end of those on the lead lap.
He's been held there. The ARCA official is holding him.
Yeah, he is. Well, the 11 car now appears to be coming in. John, why?
Jeff Davis, the car responsible for helping bring out that last caution, has just given them 4 8-lap old tires. Davis has now moved his car past. He was pitting right in front of Kerry Teague as Dick Trickle still sits on pit road. So Kerry Trickle will come in. What he will do is shut off the engine. Actually, he's got it in neutral right now. What they will have to do is after they change all 4 tires, the crew will have to start pushing. Now he has shut it off. The crew will push it. We've seen Rusty Wallace do it, I believe, earlier this year. Trickle now going a lap down as the pace car passes by. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
Apparently, they told the crew they serviced the car with the front end of the car across the yellow line. He was in front of his pit stall, his rightful pit stall, so now they're trying to talk it over.
I already had the tire off. I already had it off. It's over now. Go.
Obviously, some discussion here among the crew. Apparently, they didn't realize that the car had rolled across the line. When it stopped, it may not have been across the yellow line, but apparently the car did indeed roll across the front of the yellow line. A tough break for Dick Trickle as the... let me get up here with Gary Rouleau. Gary, what actually was the ruling there?
When Dick came in, it was hard to see the car in front of him. He rolled past the yellow line. Normally it's a 15-second penalty, but they held us a lap instead.
That's Gary Rouleau, who is the crew chief and car owner here. A tough break for Dick Trickle to driving his heart out. He will now be shown a lap down here with just a few to go.
Boy, that is tough. He got 2 laps down, made them both up, was battling for the lead, and now he's going to go a lap down because of an infraction on pit road. So that changes the complexion of the race entirely. Tim Fedewa, with 30 laps to go, is going to be the leader when we come back. The field comes out of corner number 4 and takes the green flag to resume the Jiffy Lube 500k on lap 177. Tim Fedewa is the leader of this race. Dick Trickle is back to a lap down, trying to regain it. Let's go to Jerry Punch for an explanation of why he was penalized and for how much.
Let me show you the pit road penalties card that each of the ARCA Hooters pit officials carry in their pockets. This is the one that was being used here in the Dick Trickle pits. It shows that if you're over the line, there is a 1-lap penalty. That's exactly what they did. They penalized Dick Trickle 1 lap for being across the line, and it'll cost him a chance at victory, but that's exactly what the rules say.
And now he tries desperately to get back on the lead lap, and he does, at least temporarily. Yep, he's got Fedewa cleared now. And there was no doubt that Trickle's car was over the yellow line on the pit stop, so there really is no argument here. Now the battle is for the lead as Purvis was about to go to the inside, but slid high, and Kerry Teague is not out of this thing.
No, here comes Kerry Teague on the inside.
He has had a fast car, made that late pit stop, and apparently that clutch worked to get him out of the pits and on the restart, so he is certainly back in the thick of it. Be careful that back end. Terry, get loose from you.
Man.
And that number 11 car is on tires from Jeff Davis, as John Kernan told you earlier. They're side by side.
I told you, Terry, to be careful.
That's Sure he hasn't yet.
Right in the middle of the racetrack, though.
Caution is out.
He still hasn't hit anything.
No, he did not.
He can get it going again.
But he flattened those tires. That's his wife.
He says, come on, Kerry, get it going again. You can stay in the lead lap. You still got a shot at winning this thing if you can get it going again.
But he has no clutch. I don't get why. He is going again.
Yep.
Well, he was just going the wrong way.
He did a great job keeping it off the wall. He didn't hit anything, but he sure did spin a lot. Here it is. He's running alongside Jeff Purvis.
And there we see the car. One of those deals, just he had no air to lean on, so he goes in the corner. Car gets out of shape. Around he goes, locks the brakes up. Now he goes up, gets almost to the wall, and then he comes back across the racetrack. Whoops. Now he hits the brakes again. Comes down out of the way and stops and hasn't hit a thing.
And Dick Trickle got back in the lead lap. He's going to be right back in this thing.
That's right. Yep.
Here it is, another angle. And we were concerned about it as he went into that turn that back end would get loose. No cushion on the outside, as Benny has pointed out here. And he tried to correct it, couldn't. As Benny said, locks the brakes there. Gets up there, and when the front end comes back around, lets the brakes off. Rolls forward, thinks he has it saved, but overcorrects. Back end comes around the other way as cars go by on the outside.
But he's very lucky there weren't cars following closely, because when he slid clear across the racetrack, that could have caused a serious situation. Jerry Punch is there as Purvis and Teague come down.
And a tough break for Dick Trickle, guys. We might mention when he saw Kerry Teague spin, he was in front of the leader, and he came across the start-finish line and thought he got the caution flag. He backed out and let the leader, Tim Feeta, will come back in front of him. As they came back the next time, the caution did come out. So as a result, Dick Trickle will stay one lap down. Meanwhile, Jeff Purvis in the Delco Remy Chevrolet, the crew now being signaled because they got to move the car inside the pit box. The right side of the car was out of the pit box. And now once again, they will have to move the car back in, and they will change the left side tires. Pit stop continuing for Jeff Purvis in the car number 1, trying to pick up his third ARCA win of 1993.
Well, I was watching the accident, Ned, and I didn't see, but you're right, Trickle was clearly ahead the last time that I watched the racetrack.
Yeah, he was. We just assumed that he stayed out in front.
But here it is again in slow motion.
Yeah, the caution was a while coming out because it looked like that he was going to keep going and not be a problem. But then it finally stopped, as we'll see here.
Motion for him to move back.
There is the yellow as the car is just about to come to a stop.
But I think Dick Trickle probably had already gone by, and maybe the leader by that time.
See if we can tell here.
Maybe not.
Well, he's already gone by in that picture,
right.
yes.
Yep. So apparently he did cross the line without taking the caution, and when he slowed down, he lost a lap again.
Yep. Apparently he's not arguing about it. He's down on the inside. He knows. Yep.
Well, we've got another angle here, and we'll try to watch. Here comes Trickle. He's clearly in front of the 55 car. And then Kerry Teague, see, he's getting the car moving, and Trickle backs out.
And this is right here is when they both take the caution
when the leaders
flag.
take the caution flag.
Yep.
Jerry
right,
was
Jerry,
exactly right.
Back down to you.
Apparently, Dick Trickle had just told the Rulo brothers, the crew members who owned the car, that he thought he had made his lap up. Indeed, he was in front of him when he came by. He did not get a chance to look up at the flag stand to see if the caution had come out. As he came back to turn 1, he saw the emergency vehicles beginning to move, and he saw lights flashing, so he backed out and allowed Tim Feeta to go back around him. But they came back the next time, and apparently that's when the yellow came out. So that cost him a lap and possibly cost him a shot at victory.
Boy, we have had a little bit of everything in this race, and it isn't over yet. We've still got a few more laps to go here. Trickle is a lap down. And Feeta is the leader.
Now, Kerry Teague has dropped off the pace.
Well, he's being shown by the scoreboard as being a lap down.
Yes, I think he did. Those were the leaders that came by just as he was getting his car moving.
Yeah.
So he is a lap down. Now, I don't know. I guess they told him to go back somewhere in the line.
Well, we're under the 25 lap rule, and only those cars that are on the lead lap can use the outside lane.
Okay. Green flag is waving, and we're going again. Only 2 cars on the lead lap.
Yep, lap 184. It's Speedway and Purvis. And Trickle gets his lap back.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, how many times?
At least 4 that we know of.
This 39 car has led more laps this year than any other car on the ARCA circuit, with 7 different drivers.
Yeah, Dave Weltmeyer has 3 wins and 3 poles in his car.
Here comes Purvis for the lead.
He's got him.
Takes the lead away from the 55 car Speedway.
Less than 20 laps to go in this one.
As you can see, this #1 car is sponsored by Del Florini.
And the car that Jeff Purvis won the Daytona 200 in this year was the car that Ernie Irvin used to win the 500. Now, don't forget, the Manufacturers Championship is also at stake here this afternoon.
It's whichever one of those cars beats the other, and that's the champion.
There's a 2-point difference. Ford has 103 points and Chevrolet 101. Oldsmobile 3rd in the point standings and Pontiac 4th, but it's come down to whoever wins the race is going to win the championship.
That's the same as NASCAR. 9 points for the victor, 6 points for second place. So if the Chevrolet wins, he gets 3 more than the Ford, wins the championship by 1 point.
Purvis right now is in command in the Chevy.
Beginning to pull away a little bit.
Yep. Once again, qualifying here this afternoon for the NASCAR Winston Cup finale on Sunday. On the front row, there'll be Harry Gant on the pole and Brett Bodine alongside. Dale Earnhardt will start 19th. Rusty Wallace will start 20th. Earnhardt crashed hard in practice, qualified his backup car. And so did Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin, Ken Schrader, and Dave Marcus.
There's race for 4th place. Believe it or not, that 46 car, every wreck we've seen today, that car's been in the picture. It hasn't been a thing yet. He's running 5th right now.
Good job. That is Bob Hill. He's a lap down, as is Kerry Teague.
So Teague has moved into 4th place.
And Speedway's off the pace. Speedway is slow on the apron going in turn 4. There he is, coming towards the pits.
Oh, what a tough break.
A little bit of smoke coming from that car. Boy, this is tough. That could be the Manufacturers Championship right there.
Yep,
and it goes to the garage area.
Driven a great race today.
Chevy has won 7 of the last 9 Manufacturers Championships in ARCA. And it would appear as if they're about to win again because the Ford of Fedowa is in the garage area. And now Jeff is the only car on the lead lap.
No, Dick Trickle's in front of him.
He's almost a lap ahead. Been an interesting race. Jeff Purvis leads at the end of 189 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll be right back. ESPN Speed World is being brought to you by Bud Dry, the less filling beer with a lot more taste. Why? Ask why. And our Speed World cameras today are at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the closing laps of the Jiffy Lube 500k ARCA Hooters Cup race. The finale of '93. Tim Steele is the champion. He won that by simply starting the race. And here is Jeff Purvis, who is leading the event. And we have 9 laps to go. John Kernan is with Tim Fedowa.
Well, Tim, after such a great run today, something gave up in the car.
Yeah, you know, the motor in the car ran real good. The crew done a super job. We overheated. We were getting a little warm. We were running about 230 on that last pit stop, and I told the guys to, you know, get the rubber out of the grill and tear it out, whatever you had to do, you know. And I kept eyeing it, and Jeff, I thought it was losing a little bit. And Jeff got up around me, and then I felt it, and then boom, it went. But, you know, like I say, we have nothing to be ashamed of. The crew did a heck of a job, and everything was good, you know, it just blew up.
Yeah, you've had some tough time in the Busch car. You going to be ready to go tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. We've been struggling a little bit all year. Some high points, some low points, but, we're learning valuable experience, and we're going to be here for a while, I hope.
That's Tim Fedowa, very disappointed, but has a big future, I think, successful future to look forward to.
Yes, indeed. Had a great race today. Here is Jeff Purvis.
Vito finished second a year ago here, but not today.
9 laps to go now.
Yep.
As Purvis goes down in turn 1.
I think he's just riding now. Just doesn't want to get close to anything. Just ride this thing out. Dick Trickle has run away from him, the only other car in the lead lap. But he need not worry about Trickle because Trickle can't catch him.
If there isn't a caution.
Yeah, exactly.
Bob Hill third, Jeremy Mayfield fourth. Kurt Shelmerdine, who is the pole sitter of this race, has worked his way back up to fifth. And here is Mayfield in the pits.
Car comes slowly to a stop.
He relinquishes fourth position here.
Yeah, he's had some overheating problems.
Yep.
It looks like Jerry Foyt's, I was told that his car is smoking on the racetrack. So he's run, there he is as he comes off turn 4, and yes, some heavy smoke coming out of that car.
Yep.
He's running in 13th position, not a bad run for his first time.
Started 21st, was fastest second day qualifier. That's AJ's son.
It looks like the car is dead in the water there. It doesn't look like he has any power, so.
It's too bad to run that long and get this near the end. The sizzling quick forward.
Now we will warn you, so to speak, that we have gone way over our allotted time slot. We were supposed to be off the air at 4:30 Eastern time. It's going on 5 o'clock, and we may have to wrap this thing up without talking to the winner, Jeff Purvis. We're not slighting him in any way. He's driven a great race. We congratulate him if he can hang on, but we just got to get off the air as quickly as possible when this race ends. Got to chase that little white thing that Ned and Benny are so good at.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We just love to play the game.
Mexican Open coming up next.
You can see the attrition has been awfully high here this afternoon in Atlanta. About 25 cars out of the race.
But it has been really interesting. 5 laps to go this time, and it's the first of 3 races here at Atlanta this weekend. We'll have tomorrow's race for you at 4 o'clock Eastern time, the finale of the Busch Grand National Series, and then we'll see if Dale Earnhardt or Rusty Wallace can win the Winston Cup on Sunday at 12:30 Eastern live here on ESPN. Triple Championship Weekend.
Ever see Bob Keselowski? He was involved in that crash, what, the first or second lap? He's still out there. Car's banged up a little bit, but he's still out there racing away.
He's being shown in 25th position, and he is 69 laps down.
The Winnebago Chrysler product. If that's a Dodge or a Chrysler.
Now remember, I talked at the opening of the program about how he and Bobby Boucher were involved in a points race for second. Well, he has been out there longer than Boucher because Boucher retired very early, so we'll have to tabulate the final points and tell you probably sometime tomorrow or during the weekend, but Keselowski could finish second in the point standings.
That's a LeBaron.
Yes,
Chrysler LeBaron.
Like it's bouncing around a little bit on him. But nevertheless, he's staying out there and going to finish.
And if points were awarded right now, Keselowski would finish second in the point standings by 30 over Bobby Boucher. Purvis completes another lap, and now there are 2 to go. 2 laps to go for Jeff Purvis. Well, he is putting those depression thoughts that, Benny, you said he had earlier this week behind him after losing the ride in the 4-car and not wondering if he could come back and start all over again. But I'll tell you, he has looked very, very strong today.
He has looked awfully strong. He's backed off when he had to back off. He's hit the gas pedal when he had to hit the gas pedal. He's done all the things that you got to do to win races. So my hat's off to Purvis. He's done a great job. White flag, and there we're watching Purvis as he takes the white.
He's about to win his 3rd race of the year. He, of course, won at Daytona, and he won at Michigan, and he has had 3 poles this year. Jeff Purvis brings the car off the 2nd corner and goes down the backstretch for the final time in competition. He passes the 56 car driven by Jerry Hill. Keeps it in the middle of the racetrack as he heads through corners number 3 and 4, sees the 84 car of Tom Lorenz ahead of him. He comes off the corner and stays behind him as he takes the checkered flag and wins the Jiffy Lube 500k. Jeff Purvis. The happy crew begins to move toward victory lane, and we will be back to wrap it up in just a moment. Congratulations to Jeff Purvis, who has won here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back at Atlanta, and Jeff Purvis is pulling his car into victory lane. We're going to throw it down to Jerry Punch and see if we can't get a brief comment from the winner. Jerry?
And Jeff Purvis already has the helmet off. They're celebrating behind him. And Jeff, congratulations on an outstanding effort.
Well, I tell you what, these guys did a great job. We had a few problems during the day, and they got me back going. And the Delco Remy Chevrolet just really ran good all day.
Does it make up for the disappointment you've had earlier this year?
Well, I like winning. I like going out there and running good, and I don't know if it'll make up for the disappointment, but it does help a lot. I'm telling you, it really does.
Jeff Purvis able to smile. He will win the Manufacturers Championship for the 8th time in 10 years for Chevrolet.
Our congratulations to Jeff Purvis. As you look at the unofficial results, we want to take our hats off and congratulate also Tim Steele, who has become the ARCA Hooters Cup champion for 1993, although he didn't have a very good race here this afternoon. There are the rest of the finishers in today's very, very exciting Hooters Cup Series event here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and there is a lot more to come here on ESPN in the next couple of days. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, it's the Slick 50 Busch Grand National finale, and then Sunday afternoon, the Hooters 500, in which the champion will be determined. Will it be Dale Earnhardt or Rusty Wallace? Earnhardt starts 19th, and Rusty will start in 20th position. Again, congratulations to Jeff Purvis and Tim Steele. For Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch, thank you for joining us. This is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.